life of Harry Melling, for Chris, Mark, Matthew, and Michelle, we pray for your comfort and sustaining grace to be theirs. We also give honor and thanks to all those who have given their lives for our enjoyment of the good life living in America. Today we are thrilled to be at this Coca Cola 600 with some of the best drivers in the entire world. Thank you for the talents and abilities that you have given to each one of them. You have blessed us with many blessings. May you bless this race with safety for everyone in these facilities today. In the name of your Son, amen.
And as we continue to honor America on this Memorial Day weekend, let us pause and remember the men and women who sacrificed their lives to protect our freedom and preserve our Constitution. We also salute those who have served and those who continue to serve to help make the United States of America the greatest country in the world. Let us remember them as a bugler from the Fife and Drum Corps, U.S. Army Old Guard, 3rd Infantry Regiment, plays taps. We ask that you remain standing as we continue our tribute to America with the greatest anthem in the world. Here to bring us our national anthem, Virginia native and singer-songwriter Trelina.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets raging, the guns bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Trelina Janultolo with our national anthem, and beautifully done. and a flyby by the U.S. Army Air Corps helicopters out of Fort Bragg. They were part of the pre-race ceremony about an hour and a half ago. And we are down to it. It's just about that time to crank them up and get ready to stand on it.
The start is the 40th running of the Coca Cola 600, the greatest motorsport in the world. Please welcome the founder of Lowe Speedway and the chairman of the board for Speedway Motorsports, Mr. Smith.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Get a firm grip on your easy chair, cinch up your seat belt, get ready to get it on, as these 43 are. Dick Bergen, you talk about this race, any Winston Cup race, but particularly the 600, you talk about records and unique ones.
This race hasn't even started yet, and we have already broken records. Bobby Labonte on the pole at over 185 miles an hour with a new track record for the event. Prize money over $2.7 million, another record. The crowd in attendance, over 200,000 in the expanded Lowe's Motor Speedway, yet another record. And they are all ready for what will surely be a great night of stock car racing.
And as the biggest dogs begin to growl, we turn to Buddy Baker, the three-time winner of this 600. And at this moment, when you've touched the key, you've fired the engine, how do you feel in that cockpit?
You have just divorced your corporate image. You are turning back into the race car driver that you start out at 18 years old and develop into the guy that goes out there and takes command of the biggest race in this part of the country, the 600. I'm going to tell you right now, my knees are shaking just like they used to.
And that's the way it is all through this grandstand. Everyone standing, waiting to start. We'll give you the starting lineup when we return to Lowe's Motor Speedway.
From Coca Cola 600 on TBS is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. By the more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Circuit City, the official electronics and appliance store of NASCAR. And by Texaco, a world of energy.
That was beautiful. The field ready to roll out down the main straightaway where they have been lined up. People getting a last gander at their favorite driver, their favorite car. The starting lineup presented by Walmart EverStart batteries. The pole belongs to Bobby Labonte. Outside pole, as he set a new record for the 600 in qualifying, Labonte, is Jeff Burton, a two-time winner in '99. Starting in row 2, a big surprise and a good one. Kenny Wallace from St. Louis, Missouri, and the Virginian Elliott Sadler for the Wood brothers. They've won this race 4 times. It's been a long time since. In row 3, young Steve Park from up in Long Island. He's back and looking good. And Ken Schrader from Fenton, Missouri. He won here in the 589. Row 4, Mark Martin, who won here yesterday, and the one that everyone is talking about, his first Winston Cup appearance at 24 years of age, Dale Earnhardt Jr., number 8, his grandfather's number, in the 8th position. For row 5, there you've got Jeremy Mayfield and the guy going for 3 in a row, Jeff Gordon there in number 24, won the 600 the last 2 years. Row 6 is Mike Skinner and Ward Burton. Row 7, Bobby Hamilton and Rick Mast are there. In row 8, the 7-time Winston Cup champion, a few spots behind his son. Dale Earnhardt ready to work, 3-time 600 winner, and Jerry Nadeau is with him there in car number 9. In row number 9, you have Brett Bodine and Buckshot Jones from Georgia. In row 10, The runner-up the last 2 years in the 90 winner, Rusty Wallace. And Ernie Irvin's there, the 93 winner. Row 11, Ted Musgrave from Wisconsin. John Andretti of Indianapolis, Indiana. Row 12, Ricky Rudd and Robert Presley. Row 13, Jeffrey Bodine from Chemung, New York, and Michael Waltrip out of Owensboro, Kentucky. Row 14, Tony Stewart, Rushville, Indiana, who's rushed here from Indianapolis, where he finished 9th today, and Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett right there in that 28th spot, looking to do it again. Row 15, he's never won this race. He's come in second a couple of times. Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, and Rich Bickle. Row 16 is Hut Strickland and David Green. Row 17, the 5-time 600 winners looking good. Raced himself into the field, Darrell Waltrip. And beside him, the 87 600 winner, Richards kid, Kyle Petty. Row 18, Jimmy Spencer and Kenny Irwin there. Row 19, Texas, Terry Labonte, winner of the Winston just last Saturday night on this track, and Sterling Marlin. In row 20, through the provisionals now, Chad Little and Wally Dallenbach are there. Row 21, from Vermont, Kevin LePage, and from Michigan, Johnny Benson. And rounding out the field, former pole sitter for the event, Joe Nemechek, rides scratch, 43, shotgun position. And the 20 car missed the driver's meeting, so it's automatic. Tony Stewart will have to go shotgun, dead last on the field. The in-cars, we have one in the 29th place car, Bill Elliott, in the McDonald's Ford. Starting next to him, Dale Jarrett, 28th position, the Ford Credit, number 88. The 27th place car, now all the way out back. There you are. You're riding in the Husqvarna Pontiac. Tony Stewart ready to go. Jerry Nadeau, sad story here. Owner Harry Melling died yesterday in another sport he loved on a golf course up in Michigan. The Wendy's Ford will give us these pictures from the 16th starting position. And he'll give you some telemetry too, which ought to be fun for Baker to talk about. One lap and they will be racing. Starting 8th, here he is, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Won 7 Grand National races a year ago in quest of that title, which he pulled off, the Grand National title of NASCAR. The number 6 car of Mark Martin starting 7th, the Valvoline Ford, tucked down on the inside. He'll be chopping into corner number 1 and lap number 2, about 193 miles an hour there. Elliott Sadler, he'll start 4th. What a great story for the Wood brothers, qualifying up on the outside of the second row. And the man who will bring you down to the flag carries one of our cameras, Bobby Labonte. That's the starting lineup. Track diagram, the Sprint PCS track diagram. Here's Buddy Baker.
As you go down into turn 1, you're running about 194 miles an hour. Going through that corner right on the bottom, as you start off turns 2, very tricky spot of this racetrack. You can get in a lot of trouble there. Going into 3, right back down on the bottom of the racetrack, then you sweep out against the wall there where there's a bump that creates a lot of problems for race cars.
The AutoZone race analysis, Buddy.
Wow. Look at the money. You know, that's probably more money in the whole time. I won 3 of these World 600s, and never once did they have any kind of money like this. 400 laps, a true test.
Field coming down for a start. Pole position at 185.230 miles per hour. Bobby Labonte put it there, broke Gordon's record of 184.3. He brings them to the line. 43 strong, the 95 winner in number 18, owned by Joe Gibbs, well known to Super Bowl fans. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a race. Clear through 1. And clear through 2. 1,500-foot back straightaway, up to about 185 miles per hour in the 24-degree range.
So you want to be a race car driver, do you? Boy, that speed shot's exciting.
They're looking good. Stewart out back and watch him slice and cut and parry his way through the field.
There he is, the man of the hour, going for his third World 600
in a row.
Coca Cola 600, pardon me. It's hard to get that straight, but I've worked on it.
You won the World 600.
Yeah.
You have every right.
Steve Park in the one there, going down in the corner. Mark Martin in the sixth, just behind him. That's the second group we're looking at right there.
Bobby Labonte out in front. You've got Burton in second, Sadler Whiting third, and young Steve Park. He's putting it to him in fourth.
Park has been incredibly strong during practice and qualifying here. He has a brand new crew chief in Paul Andrews. That has rejuvenated his team.
Mike Skinner sinks it down on the inside of number 55, Kenny Wallace, youngest brother in the Wallace tribe. He tries to move through and look at Steve Park. Trouble turn 4. Big crash in turn number 4.
Kyle Petty, 44 is involved. Rich Bickle in the...
Here's Bickle coming back on the track. There you see Kyle Petty's 44.
Johnny Benson was in it. He went roaring down pit road, apparently undamaged, took an escape route. Here's Petty in the 44.
He started 34th on the field. Benson getting caught as well in that melee. This happens in lap 3.
Didn't take him long.
Back in, bobtailed on the number 44.
You can see Rich Bickle's car there. Does not appear to have any great amount of damage to it, although he did get around coming off turn 4.
Provisional starter Johnny Benson was back in 42nd when he started. He moved up a little, and then he got in this one.
What's really ironic is yesterday there was a Grand National race here, and the first incident was caused by Adam Petty, Kyle's son. They both crashed early in their respective events here this weekend at Charlotte.
Same like father, like son?
I don't think so. I think Adam is just a little bit younger, and right now he's going a little faster than Dad as well.
Kyle Petty has a little damage just on the right rear corner of that car. You can see the bumper there torn back a little bit.
Replays. In 4. Somebody got tapped.
Yeah, I wonder if he got a little help
Bickle.
in that deal.
Yeah, well, you can see Bickle got touched there, goes around.
Kyle
just turned around. Oh, my, did Chad Little in the green car come very close to collecting Kyle Petty there.
And you saw Johnny Benson in that yellow car go down pit road. There is no speed limit on pit road when there's an accident. There is when there's a normal caution flag.
Look at this. That's Chad Little in the green and yellow car there. Almost collecting the 44, Kyle Petty, right on the front straightaway.
There's the
Benson.
right Saint. Back with you live as we watch Labonte in front. There are now 5 laps complete. And we'll be back with more of the 40th running, the Coca Cola 600, after these messages. While you're watching the Coca Cola 600 on TBS, Wendy's puts you in the driver's seat. Watch the race and keep your eye on the number 9 Cartoon Network car for the live in-race reveal of a toll-free number. To enter the In the Driver's Seat sweepstakes presented by Wendy's, simply call that toll-free number. One lucky winner receives a trip for 2 to the Richard Petty Driving Experience in Charlotte. Wendy's puts you in the driver's seat in this Coca Cola 600. For the 9th time in a 600, Bobby Labonte has had an opportunity to lead. He came off the point to do it. Jimmy Spencer's number 3, the Berwick, Pennsylvania driver, is back behind the wall with the Travis Carter car as he tries to get it back in this race for the 10th time that he has attempted the 600.
Looking at Elliott Sadler there in 3rd spot. He's doing a great job in the Wood Brothers car.
Showing 7 complete as we come back to take 3. First turn hustle, and the Pontiac stays in front, another of the Joe Gibbs Racing team. And Tony Stewart, well, he's come from dead last up to 35th in the first break, that first 7 laps.
Rusty Wallace on the move on the outside there. He's passed 2 or 3 cars there on the restart on the outside.
There he is, Rusty Wallace. That's Mayfield on the bottom there. And Wallace in the number 2, who has been a bridesmaid the last 2 years, is back there in 16th spot. You see him there breaking to the inside.
That shot shows just how fast they're going, and that is going into the corner. Cars starting. 600 miles. The
distance to be run. Some 399 laps.
I'm looking at Dale Earnhardt's car just there flying through the... He's already up to 9th place. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has dropped to 16th spot already.
400 makes it a full 600. A couple of years ago, we ended up way late at night. Didn't get all the way there. Not going to happen tonight. It's perfect weather. A little on the warm side, but hey, that'll straighten out the minute the sun goes down.
Bobby Labonte in the lead. He has been very, very strong here the entire month of May. They ran a race last weekend called the Winston. He won the pole for that race by 3.5 miles an hour over the old track record. Won his first ever Winston Cup race here at Charlotte in this event, the Coca Cola 600.
Yeah, quite a few of them. Your names up front there. Elliott Sadler moving right along there in 3rd spot. Steve Park in the yellow car there, up to 4th.
There you see that number 21 in 3rd. There's Steve Park, 4th.
And he's never gone 600 miles. Elliott Sadler has it. He comes out of the Busch Series ranks. Here he is in the number 21 car. And he's been ill for the last couple of days with a stomach virus of some sort. He said to take care of it, he has done a lot of sleeping and a lot of drinking of sports drinks and water. Says he'll be all right. We'll see.
Earnhardt Jr. has dropped 1 spot. He's now back to 9th. Stays in it here. Correction, he's dropped back more than that. He has dropped back to 16th. His father has moved up to 9th. So Earnhardt Jr. has fallen to 16th. This will certainly be his longest race. He's never run over 300 miles, making the effort here tonight in the longest race of the year.
Well, he's doing a very smart thing, and he may have that car set up for nighttime where it's running a little bit loose, and he's just taking his time until the tires come in and the chassis goes to the cooler tire runs as you get into the nighttime.
Saw Wallace getting around Bodine, picking up 14th there, buddy. And tucked right in behind Bobby Labonte is Jeff Burton in the 99.
Jeff Burton, very strong qualifying effort. That was his Achilles heel last year. He couldn't qualify. This year, qualifying efforts have been much better. You can see right now, he's every bit as fast as our leader, Bobby Labonte.
Incredibly, as well as he has done here in Charlotte, Burton has never led a lap in the Coca Cola 600. This is his 6th start in the event. Probably his best run early on.
7 victories to his credit as you look back at him down the back straightaway going for turn 3. Bobby Labonte leading Jeff Burton in the 99. A little bit of an interval building up here between this pair. And 3rd place, Elliott Sadler.
Steve Park wasting no time right now, making a challenge on Elliott Sadler as they go down into turn 1.
And Tony Stewart is drag racing his way through, passing everybody he can. Tony Stewart now in 32nd position. Here he is, tucked right in behind Irwin. On the outside to see Michael Waltrip as he continues to nip up through the field from last. You have to make the drivers' meeting to start in your position. He was in Indianapolis and couldn't do it. For the lead, Jeff Burton takes it.
Well, now he has led a lap at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's the first in his career in Winston Cup racing in the 600.
South Boston, Virginia driver.
And a lot of times when you see a guy move back like that, the car may not be real good in the lead. It may be a little bit hard to handle, and you want to see you move behind the leader like he just did with Jeff Burton. Bobby Labonte's probably feeling that car and says this may be a little more comfortable. You make changes on the driving style all the way through the race.
Tony Stewart up to 30th as he still slices his way through the field. You're watching him come through the tri-oval down into turn number 1. Quickest place in the track, perhaps 193, 94 miles an hour.
Wow, he's all the way down on the bottom. Kenny Irwin Jr. there in the 28 in front of him. Got a little bit sideways, and Tony had to check up.
I asked him how the car was handling the other day. He said it handles great everywhere but the grass. I haven't figured that out. Looks like he's working on that right now, buddy.
You can see there's a little bit of smoke come off the right rear tire there, Kenny Irvin's car. That means he's a little bit loose off there, or he might have made contact with the car earlier, and it might just be touching just a little bit.
Hard to imagine Tony Stewart is a rookie in this series. He had never run a Winston Cup car here at Charlotte until last week. Tried to practice, but he burned his feet the week before, lost all his practice.
How did he burn his feet?
Racing at Las Vegas.
Well, your feet right on the bottom there, and those exhaust pipes underneath the car are 1,200 degrees, so it's not very hard if it's not insulated properly to get you pretty hot on foot.
And it's hot racing out here right now as Stewart cuts through the field. A report from Mike Hogwood.
Jimmy Spencer in the garage. That debris from an accident put a hole in his radiator. They have to put a new radiator in the car, and Jimmy will be back out on the track.
Ricky Rudd is on there for a moment in 23rd, and here's Stewart. Still picking him up. Now he's to 29th position.
Couldn't make the pass on the bottom. He's going to try the outside. You'll watch Irwin. He'll try to block him off as he come off the corner. Almost made contact.
Good block. Comes down a little, and it's wide open for Stewart to try Irwin on the outside, going into 1. This is lap 19.
He'll drive away because the 28 car right now is way, way loose as he goes through the corner. You see Tony Stewart now closing in on Rick Mask in the 98.
Meanwhile, up in front, Jeff Burton's number 98, the Excite car, putting the power down and leading in the 40th running of the Coca Cola 600. Don't miss live in-car camera action today in the Coca Cola 600. Log on to TBSSuperstation.com. That's TBSSuperstation.com. Oh, take a look here. Mark Martin just getting around the number 1 of Steve Park. Give you a look at the interval between that number 99 as he continues to stay well out in front here. 18 in second. Now the 6 of Mark Martin in third. There's Steve Park in fourth. And back to fifth comes Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon moving in on this group. You're riding with Mark Martin. This is off turn 4 out against the wall there. This is looking back at Steve Park going down the front straightaway.
And we all knew that Mark Martin was going to be strong here tonight. He has run Charlotte Motor Speedway incredibly well. Won the Busch Series race here yesterday. Last year, he led 379 of the 734 point laps in this series at this track.
Earnhardt Jr. is back in 18th position. Alan Bestwick can tell us more.
Well, Ken, right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. hasn't really reported anything to his pit crew. He says he's just trying to log some laps. He knows he's got a long race ahead of him. He's not trying to be too concerned about falling back in the early going.
Not falling back, but driving forward comes Mark Martin, the winner of the CarQuest 300 yesterday in the Grand National Preliminary to the 600. Mark Martin wheels around and takes that second spot away from Labonte. And here comes Gordon. Park in the number 1 is pushed back to fifth spot.
Look at Gordon just turned down in the center part of the corner and moves right up the side of Bobby Labonte as they come off the straightaway. It's a drag race down the front straight.
Buddy, a lot of new folks watching this racing would say, oh, big deal. What about that?
Well, that's pretty important right now because you're seeing the guys that run up front on a regular basis here at Charlotte. Mark Martin, a master, is set up here, and so is the Gordon car.
How about that move by Gordon, just whipping from one lane to the inside? That you don't see very often in a race.
No, that car has to be hooked up. You see him running a higher line right now. He's setting himself up for when they get into lap traffic. He can move up there and not depend on that lower line to keep him in contention.
I went all through the garage area this morning and talked to the crew chiefs of most of the top cars and asked them how they'd set their car up at the beginning of the race. And most of them said they were going to set it up a little bit loose. A few of them said they were going to set it up tight. Mark Martin's, or the 24 car, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, Ray Evernham, said, we're going to start neutral and just try and keep that car balanced all night. Very few teams have even attempted that. Gordon running well, but taking a much higher line than Mark Martin in the 6.
Steve Park staying right up in there, badly injured last year, missed 16 races, broken leg, broken scapula, hard crash. This is his first 600, and right now he's in 4th place. Mike Hogwood, tell us how it's going for him.
Steve Park has just told his crew chief, Paul Andrews, that his car is very tight in the turns. He's having really trouble getting through there, especially in traffic. Paul Andrews told him just to take it easy. This is a long race, 600 miles. He doesn't have to stay up front right now. They'll adjust on the car when they come in for a pit stop.
Well, the first-time viewer, let's talk about tight. Well, we have a great race right here. Gordon going on the outside of Mark Martin.
And blew him off, just went through him.
Okay, when we talk about tight, we're talking about turning the steering wheel left and the wheel's not getting good grip on the front and it pushes out towards the outside wall. That's what they mean when they're talking about tight.
And as you watch these cars, they've really slowed down from qualifying. They're only averaging about 171 miles an hour on this mile-and-a-half track. So when Buddy explains that to you, that's not exactly like 55 miles an hour on your way down the parkway. Stewart continuing to attack. He's now up into 23rd position as he moves from the rear of the field. Tony the Tiger out of Rushville, Indiana, is really giving it a go here tonight.
You know, a lot of people would wonder why Mark Martin just pulled over and let Jeff Gordon go by just a second ago. He's a very patient driver, and he also realizes that Jeff Gordon has found something on the racetrack that's making him get around there very quick right now. So he wants to look at it and see the line around the racetrack, maybe duplicate it.
Here's Gordon going for 3 in a row. Here's some current speeds. 171.2 on Gordon, leading the way as he's taking that Ray Evernham car out. And at this moment, now about 32 laps down, Jimmy Spencer is re-entering the fracas. Jimmy Spencer had to change a radiator, which they have done, got him back in the race in about 32 seconds.
Watching Jeff Gordon, this is surely one of his very best racetracks, if indeed it's not his very best racetrack. He won his first ever Winston Cup pole here, his first ever Winston Cup race here. We're riding now with Tony Stewart.
22nd position. Whoops, 21st.
Look at the acceleration of this car catching that group in front of him. He closed down about 5 or 6 car lengths down that one straightaway. This car is very, very fast.
And the guy in front of him's been doing some racing. That's Terry Labonte in the number 5. And as you'll recall, at the outset of this race, he started back in 37th position. He's coming.
Tony Stewart right now moving in on Earnhardt Jr. in the 8th there. He's the next car behind him as they come around the corner.
8 just slipped back a spot.
Stewart last week won the Winston Open here, second in the Winston, and he's flying here tonight.
By Stewart. By Earnhardt Jr.
You can hear already, though, back in the throttle very, very softly, not just jumping back in it, trying to get that maximum grip for that runoff down the straightaway.
Earnhardt Jr. had faded to 20th. Now Stewart runs him down, picks up another spot. That'll put him up to 19th. And still chasing Terry Labonte. Labonte coming at the start from 37th position is wending his way through the field.
Well, that's no surprise. Those Labonte boys are very, very cool. They understand what it takes to get around this racetrack, and they're patient. That's why Terry Labonte's won this race.
Smart piece of driving, I think, by Dale Earnhardt Jr. His first Winston Cup ride. He's not trying to throw it away. Willing to let these guys race it out in the early going, knowing that attrition will build in 600 miles and try to get himself back up in this thing.
Watching Rusty Wallace there in the 2 car. His car is moving around a lot more than I know he wants it to. It's dancing up the racetrack on him as you see Kenny Wallace there on the outside. That's the 40 there of Sterling Marlin.
And you see the 60 of Bodine, the black car. He's on the move. He started 25th. He's in 17th.
Rusty's finished this race in 2nd spot 3 times in the last 5 years.
Last 2 years in a row, he says, I'm sick of being the bride.
Yeah, and it's always been to Gordon. You think he's hungry? He is.
You talked about Terry Labonte in the 5 there. That's the same car he won in Texas with earlier in the year. It's also a car that he won here in Charlotte in 1996.
And here's Stewart up on the outside trying to wheel around Wallace.
This is some run by Tony Stewart.
That Fender you saw run up there and kind of take a peek with the 2 car. You see him dropping back. I think right now Rusty's waiting on dark. I think he set his car up very, very loose. He's not able to hold it down where he wants it.
Tony Stewart from dead last keeps wending his way through the field. Call it 17th for the moment, but look for him to be up front another 20 or 30 laps the way he's running in the Coca Cola 600. There's the Budweiser Blint, best seat in the house inside the Bud One airship. Aerial Ambassador, the king of beers, and the official beer of NASCAR. Looking down on Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we just have word that Darrell Waltrip has officially retired with an engine problem. Let's go to Alice Cook backstage.
Ken, today 250,000 people will converge on this speedway, turning it into the 3rd largest city in North Carolina. There are so many stories that surround this race, and tonight we're going to be everywhere from pit road to the luxury boxes. We're even going to mingle with some of the fans. There's much more to this race than just a race. It's a carnival, and we're going to bring the party to you.
Thank you very much, Alice. Burton still out in front. We take a look at that number 99, really picking up some time. Last lap at 1:69.3. Interval of Jeff Gordon. There he is in second spot. Now, the 5-time winner of this race, Darrell Waltrip, has retired, gone behind the wall. We'll try to get a word with DW and find out what happened. We're understanding it may be an engine problem that has put him out. He had a good qualifying run, but it's back in the garage area, and they say it's done for the night. Darrell Waltrip out of the race.
Now, DW had a vibration in the race car. They tore it all apart, couldn't find it, found it just a little bit before the race. They found a bad pulley, an out-of-round pulley. Crew Chief Felipe Lopez wanted to change the engine. They said, no, it'll be all right. Guess what? There's Bird and Gordon, and there's the 66 up on the hauler, and it is done for sure. They're going to be out of here.
That's guess what right there. That's a bad feeling when everybody else is out there racing for 600 and you're going home already.
47 laps are complete, and the 5-time winner is out of the 600 this year, Darrell Waltrip. Here we go for a 14th position, and Stewart in here, getting ready to mix it up.
Bobby Hamilton in the 4 leading this group right here. Sterling Marlin in the 40 running very well. Terry Labonte down in the 5 there, and Jeffrey Bodine in the 60.
Friday there was no practice here at Charlotte Lowe's Motor Speedway. Let's get that right. One of the very few drivers in the garage was Bobby Hamilton in that number 4 car. He was there helping a lone crewman adjust the front fenders on that race car to try and get it more downforce. A little better grip for tonight's race. Stewart still moving through the field. He's now shown in 13th position. He got around that 14th place car. He's gained 22 positions, 35 laps. 22 and 35 laps. That is some running.
I'm fixing to pro like the rooster on the hood of that 5 car the other day when I said I thought Terry Labonte might be a guy that could win this race. Pretty good.
Well, he's been coming right with you the whole time.
Turn right there, right on the bottom. Pick the throttle up. Terry Labonte is moving around this racetrack.
Yeah, when you consider the leaders at 169 and he's cranking out laps at 174 miles an hour, as you just saw there, you got to keep your eye on that Kellogg's number 5. Here he is moving under Sterling and trying to pick up the number 4 Kodak car of Bobby Hamilton.
Very difficult to pass coming off the corner. You see he had to turn the steering wheel very hard there to stay under Sterling, and he's not getting a fast run out of the corner like you'd like it. Now Sterling gives him a little bit of racetrack.
That's the 12th car he's passed tonight. Labonte started deep in the field with that car.
Closes in on Hamilton. Labonte. That'd be for 14th spot if he takes Bobby down. Sterling Marlin got around him once. Marlin came back up on the outside. You hear a radio here. That is Sterling Marlin's. Been a while since he's won that last one at Daytona back in '96.
Bill Elliott's already in the pits. I don't know what the problem is, but he's in the pits already in the 94 car.
Around on tires. 4 tire change. Mike Hogwood.
Well, Bill Elliott radioed into his crew that he was running very, very hot. They told him to come in. He's got some kind of engine problems, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a long night at all for Bill Elliott.
Also, you can see him tear away that sheet of clear off the windshield. That's the way you clean the windshields anymore. They put 2 or 3 of those coats over there. It's just like a visor on a motorcycle helmet. You just pull the visor off and you clean.
By more than 2 seconds, this car, number 99, Jeff Burton, seeking his first win of the 600, is out in front. Jeff Gordon is in second right there. Call it 2.6 seconds, first 2 seconds, as Gordon tries to win it 3 in a row. As of right now, Jeff Burton would be back in front of Dale Jarrett in the Winston Cup point battle. 12th race of 99 of the 34 to be run. It's here at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
The Coca Cola 600 on TBS is brought to you by Everstart Battery. All the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart. And by Citgo. You know a neighbor when you see one.
Back with you at Lowe's Motor Speedway, watching as Jeff Burton's number 99 continues to dominate in the early going. 67 of the 400 laps have been completed in this 600-mile race. There's the second place car, Jeff Gordon, so you get a sense of the interval, which is now only 1 in 9/10 seconds. It was 2.63 laps ago. There's that second place car, Gordon, number 24. And here comes the third place car, number 6, Mark Martin. Martin is in third. Riding behind Martin. You have a picture from the number 6. Just behind him, there you have Steve Park. That's the fourth place car. There's a interval about 10, 12 car lengths between Mark Martin and Steve Park. You get back to there. In fifth spot, you have Labonte. There he is, the guy that sat on the pole. The pole winner has only won this race 7 times. 39 previous runnings of the 600. Now, as to sixth spot, behind the 18, who could that be? Well, I'll tell you who it is. Behind him, coming up from 15th spot, is car number 3, Earnhardt. He's still trucking. And there you see the number 43 Andretti as well. Rusty Wallace on pit road. The number 2 going around and early. What's the window, 60 to 65?
60 to 65. So all the leaders, hey, we have trouble in turn 4.
4, spinning 4, come through high, come through high.
Shot Jones.
Keep on, come on, come on, come on. Caution's not out, come on.
No caution.
Come on, coming, come on, come on.
Bad break for Rusty.
As long as that caution does not come out, it won't be that tragic. You see Buckshot Jones, a lot of damage on the right front corner, flat right front.
Nadeau's number 9 is in the milling car.
That could have been a disaster for Rusty Wallace and some of the other teams that have already pitted. Had the caution come out and everybody else got a shot at getting into the pits, oh boy, those guys who got trapped would have really been in trouble.
Jeremy Mayfield is working his way through. Let's quickly go and check on Tony Stewart. Stewart in the number 20. That's 10th. Indeed. From the restart at lap 8. He was 35th at the time. He's now 10th.
Just behind Mike Skinner in the 31 there. He's running in 10th right now. As you said, you see right now on the bottom of the racetrack going right on by Mike Skinner.
Call it 9th. We had a car pitting in front of him. They're going to give him 8th now. Another one of those leaders is on pit road. Let's see who it is.
Well, Kenny Schrader's on pit road. Jeffrey Bodine is on pit road. The number 98, Rick Mast, is out there. Brett Bodine.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the pit.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. makes his stop, first stop in Winston Cup racing.
Jeff Burton on pit road.
Leader comes in. Steve Burns waiting for him.
And Ken, Jeff Burton comes to a stop. Crew chief Frankie Stoddard on the front tires. Pierre Cantell on the back tires. The gas man is Jim Gilbert. No chassis adjustment to the 99 of Jeff Burton. They hammer the jack underneath the left side. Good stop for Jeff Burton so far. Wow, 16.4 seconds for Jeff Burton.
16.4, 4 tires, full tank of gas, and he had time for a little refreshment. Now, why does it take so long to go to the filling station?
Look who's coming in now, the 24 car, Jeff Gordon, as he heads to the pit.
Mike Hogwood's there.
Crew Chief Ray Evernham has made a decision that Jeff has reported they're running a little bit tight, so they're going to take a half round of wedge in the car and try to free it up just a little bit, but they don't want to go too far as the track is going to change as the sun goes down. 4 fresh tires for the 24. Their stop is on. A good one for Jeff Gordon.
Oh, he's slow. It's only 16. That's amazing. All right, here's Mark Martin, who has been leading, and the 18, the pole sitter, Bobby Labonte, both coming down. Speed limit on pit road tonight, 55. Steve?
Yeah, Mark coming to the attention of this Jimmy Fennick-led team. And Labonte in as well. Mike Garrett is the jackman on the 6 car. They do make a chassis adjustment to the right rear. They come around to work on the left side. Sean Parker changing tires. This is one of the best pit crews in the business. 16 seconds.
is going to come too, that number 18 car.
And with Marlon and Labonte on pit road, Stewart took the lead briefly from dead last to first. He's now on pit road. You're sitting there with him.
You see him scrubbing the windshield there, getting all the excess grease and that rubber dust off the windshield.
And there must have been some coming from dead last.
Oh, man, did I tell you the way he was going, it was hard for him to stick.
18.7.
Imagine running 18 or 1,100 miles in one day. Oh.
Well, he hasn't got it all done yet, but he sure looks like he means to.
Yep.
All the way to lead. And here's what he's done today. First, he was up in Indianapolis, finishing 9th. Landed at the airport at Indy, landing at the airport or the infield here at Charlotte, strapping on the gloves, missing and almost got caught there. Kyle Petty came up through. That was on lap 8. He's having just a heck of a good time. Rushville, Indiana's Tony Stewart. Talk about a busy day.
Busy day is right, but if anybody loves to drive a race car any more than Tony Stewart, I'd like to know who it is.
Finished 9th, as we said, at Indianapolis. Great finish for him, and congratulations to A.J. Foyt's team for their victory at Indianapolis this afternoon.
While we're riding with Tony Stewart, the doctor now, you see Johnny Benson coming in the pits in the 26th there. We talked to Tony Stewart a little bit earlier about his first win in Winston Cup. He said, I'd rather have 5 top 5s than I had to win one race. He says, if you get consistent and you stay in the top 5, you'll win a lot more than one race.
He's going to win a lot of races in this. He runs this Winston car perhaps as well as anything he's ever raced in his life. He's a champion in so many different divisions.
Now, this completes the rotation among the leaders. Benson had inherited first place as he came onto pit road. As he makes that pit stop, it puts number 99, Burton, back in first, Gordon into second. We're showing Benson for the moment. That'll drop back. It'll be Mark Martin third, Steve Park fourth, Labonte fifth. Stay with us for more of the action. Miss Gordon looking on. While you're watching the Coca Cola 600 on TBS, Wendy's puts you in the driver's seat. Watch the race and keep your eye on the number 9 Cartoon Network car for the live in-race reveal of a toll-free number. To enter the In the Driver's Seat sweepstakes presented by Wendy's, simply call that toll-free number. One lucky winner receives a trip for 2 to the Richard Petty Driving Experience in Charlotte. Wendy's puts you in the driver's seat in this Coca Cola 600. 76 laps have been completed here of the 400 to be run. There's the new $750,000 scoring pylon in the infield at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. This is the man out in front, number 99, Jeff Burton. Let's take an STP pit roundup right now after that stop under green.
Jeff Gordon is running second, but he still doesn't like the way his car is driving. Says now it is loose. But Ray Evernham, his crew chief, says, Jeff, let's just be patient. Nighttime's going to come soon, and this track is going to change a whole lot, and then it's our time to go.
And Mark Martin was concerned that he wasn't loose enough. He thought they were putting too much stress on the right front tire. The crew members told me the tires look good, but now they're afraid that they have loosened him up too much.
One guy that's perfectly happy with his race car is John Andretti, who documented him gaining 12 positions over the start. Crew chief Robbie Loomis says they did absolutely nothing to the machine. They're just riding around picking up positions.
John Andretti was in 8th. You just saw Ward Burton gun him down. The number 22 sank his teeth in, drove down to the bottom and picked up a spot.
He ought to be running. That car that John Andretti has got a wickedly strong engine. That thing dynoed out at 755 horsepower, according to the engine builder, Rick Mann. And he told the crew chief, he said, you say 2 prayers for the motor to last the race, and I'll say 1 prayer for your chassis setup to work.
There's that 99, Jeff Burton, out in front, and he has a big advantage over the second place car. You see Dale Earnhardt Jr. tucked right in behind him in that number 8, which is in 19th position.
Yeah, and that was, he's already a lap down there. As Burton went by him, that put him 1 lap back.
Now we'll widen out and show you that 24 car and show you this big interval. Burton just blowing him away in that no bull 5 tonight. He can pick up an extra $1 million if he can stay where he is. Or if he falls out, Gordon can pick up $1 million. He's riding in second. And And Bobby Labonte's up for the $1 million bonus tonight. He's in fourth spot. The third position out here at the present time is Mark Martin, just a bit behind Jeff Gordon's car.
If you want to be able to tell these cars, the numbers on the roof there, you see the day-glow number on the top, the spoiler is painted the same way, and you'll be able to pick them out, the cars that are going for that $1 million bonus in the no bull.
There's Gordon in third, the second rather, and then here comes the sixth of Mark Martin, the third place car. Big fat interval there. And fairly close as Bobby Labonte picks that Pontiac back up and chases down that Ford.
Well, if your favorite's not running up front yet, hang on. This race isn't even a quarter of the way over yet. A lot of chess to be played out, a lot of strategy to unfold.
Race summary. And 7 leaders. Lead is swapped around 7 times. The average speed of the caution for 3 laps is down to 155.9 mile-an-hour average here at Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, rounding out the rest of that front group, Steve Park is in 5th, Earnhardt is 6th, Schrader 7th, and Wardburg, who saw him make the move on Andretti to take 8th, John back to 9th, and in 10th is the Tony Stewart car. Now, there's that Steve Park, number 1. It was wonderful to see. The other car that was up there in front, Rusty Wallace car, is in 14th, right behind, rather the Kenny Wallace car, right behind his brother Rusty. Rusty is shown in 13th, and Kenny is in 14th.
Steve Park there has a new crew chief right now, Paul Andrews, who was working with Jeremy Mayfield before this race, so he's doing quite well. Tony Stewart, is he something or what? He just goes up and passes them like he's meeting them.
For 9th place. Darrell Waltrip out of the race, and Mike Hogwood had an opportunity to talk with him about what happened to car number 66 here tonight, Kmart car.
Darrell, what happened?
Well, we had a little problem with this motor yesterday. They worked on it this morning and even up to time to put on the line. Said they had it fixed, said they found the problem. I don't think they found it, but I sure did. It just blew all the pieces going down the back. We started off bad, the car wasn't right. Come in, made an adjustment, and then I was really good running the high line. I hate it because, you know, I ain't got very many World 600s or Coke 600s left to run, and I got to make every one of them count. Thought I could get up there as the night wore on. We really had a very adjustable car, and Philippe and Derek and everybody was doing a great job, but you can't run if you blow up.
Darrell Waltrip with his new crew chief, Philippe Lopez. They're disappointed tonight.
Darrell Waltrip is counting the number of races he has left in which to compete, and he is counting down from number 57, which was tonight. Philippe Lopez, his crew chief, says, don't worry, we will get Darrell Waltrip back in victory lane before his career as a driver ends at the end of next year.
Philippe Lopez has worked with him before, and DW is really happy about having him back. Look at Burton continue to skirt that second corner, swing that car all the way out to the wall, running a great line here and moving back in front. Got almost a 6-second advantage.
6-second advantage, and right now he is right there in position. He's going for the no bull also, and when I keep talking about that, $1 million bonus to win this race, hey, that is no bull.
130 miles have been completed. And right now, the man they're talking about is this guy, number 99, Jeff Bodine. The only 5-time winner of this event is Darrell Waltrip. One of his great wins was here in 1985. Pulled it off. Won the inaugural Winston the previous weekend, and then went out here in the 600 with Junior Johnson's car and flashed that winning smile in victory lane. Darrell Waltrip, one of the greats of the 600.
From TBS Superstation.
That was the drop of the green flag that got us underway, and this was some of the wild action. Kyle Petty spinning early in the going, and then you saw Buckshot Jones getting in trouble. That did not bring out a flag, but that incident with Kyle Petty brought out an early caution on lap number 8, and something went through the radiator of Jimmy Spencer's car, which has cost him a lot of laps. He is now running the 58th lap, while the leaders are on the 93rd. There's the No Bull 5 story at the present time for the $1 million bonus. Jeff Burton, he's in it. Gordon very much in it in second. Bobby Labonte fourth. Ward Burton in 7th, and Mike Skinner back there in 12th. They're the 5 candidates from the Las Vegas race. They finished 1 through 5 to qualify to run for the $1 million bonus tonight. Here you see Ward Burton's number 22, Bill Davis Racing. They're having a very good night.
These guys are going at it. I just got a report that there's a little contact between this bunch right here not long ago. See Ward Burton.
Excuse me. No, go ahead.
Oh.
There it is.
That's teammates, too.
Right. Benson and Chad Little in the green car in the middle. Part of the Jack Roush Racing organization with 5 cars there. Ward Burton is watching.
I bet Tony Stewart almost died then. He was coming up through there, and this guy's hitting in front of him. He's got a great race car. He's catching Ward Burton just about a second a lap right now, so it wouldn't be long until he catches him.
That's for 7th spot. Burton is in 7th, and the number 28, the number 20. The Home Depot car is running in 8th. Just behind him, Ken Schrader has moved up into 9th. Andretti has fallen to 10th. And Terry Labonte from out back at the start. Texas Terry, winner of the Winston a week ago here in Charlotte, started 37th, now finds himself 11th. Elliott Sadler's number 21 is shown now back in 22nd position after a good start for the Wood brothers. What's the story, Mike?
Well, the problem is that Elliott Sadler is having a tough time driving the race car. It's not handling well at all, and as the sun goes down, it's getting worse. Mike Beam is the crew chief on the car. As a matter of fact, the first time a Wood brother has not crew chiefed the car this year, but Mike Beam told me he thinks he can get the problem fixed when they come in for pit stops, but they have lost a lot of ground out on the track.
You see him giving the car a lot of room in the center part of the corner there. That's usually an indication the car is not getting the proper grip, and you're using all the racetrack you possibly can to get hooked up to the racetrack.
Telemetry is pretty interesting there.
This car's got a different body on it that they're used to running. It was built by Chip Lane. They've been used to running Roush equipment. It's a brand new car with a Hopkins chassis underneath it. They said this car, this body, fits the team perfectly well. Now they're going to have to dial some more speed in it, but they'll feel that way at the end of this race.
You hear him picking the throttle up there. He's not jumping right back in it. He had to pat the throttle there to get it to hook up. That's how loose it is.
So Nemechek back on pit road again.
Back with the leader in front of a packed house here, 157,000 seats, all sold out months in advance, and enjoying the ride by Jeff Burton in first place. Don't miss live in-car camera action today in the Coca Cola 600. Log on to TBSSuperstation.com. 103 laps have been completed here at Charlotte, North Carolina, with only 1 caution. Leading by 4 seconds over Jeff Gordon is Jeff Burton. And Jeff Burton in that number 99 is about to lap Rusty Wallace in the 14th position. He's just bulldozing this field. There's that number 99. Clearing out. The only driver in the top 6 in points who has not won a race here at Charlotte.
Jeffrey Bodine also trying to...
Bodine goes around. The caution is out for the second time.
Rusty's in it. Rusty's got front end damage.
You see that 88? Can you believe that the point leader, Dale Jarrett, is a lap down? He was right behind this altercation. He got through. Wallace did not.
We've watched that happen so many times. Jeffrey Bodine went down in the corner trying to stay in the same lead lap and got a little bit loose. The back end started around. They couldn't catch it.
Take another look at that one in a moment. That is the second caution of the day here in the 600.
Oh, Rusty Wallace car well damaged up front. This is an aerodynamic racetrack that'll hurt him badly.
You see Earnhardt Jr., the number 8, right in front of him in the 19th position. Regroup the front of the field. Wallace in danger of going a lap down, making a move on the number 60. 60 broke away. And the
side, Robert.
Victor there was the number 2, although you can see some damage on the back of Jeffrey Wallace. You can listen as well on Jeffrey Bodine's radio as they're talking to him there. And there's the crumpled tail end of number 60.
Well, that sponsor won the Indianapolis 500 today. They will not win the Coca Cola 600 tonight.
Kenny Breck winning at Indianapolis today for AJ. Big win for that team.
All pit. Or at least all the leaders are pitting.
Burton, Gordon, Martin, Labonte, Earnhardt, Park. Both Burtons
coming
are on. And Stewart.
All the fenders here. All the fenders.
Calling for a look at all the fenders.
Where's that dealer?
Andretti just in. Gordon back out. Track position for everything here, and he wants to stay right with number 99 Burton if he possibly can.
Yeah, these pit stops right now are very important. The biggest part they're gaining right now is adjustments on these cars. They're so important because right now some of the cars are running too loose.
Alan Bestwick.
Well, Rusty Wallace has got a lot of problems. You see Robin Pemberton scrambling down off the pit wall, walking in front of our camera. The right front corner of the machine very heavily damaged now. Rusty says the steering wheel is not straight. It is tilted toward the right. That means that the front end alignment has been knocked out of line. So in addition to the aerodynamic problems we talked about a minute ago, they're going to have to try and adjust that so he can go back onto the racetrack.
Fore and aft for Rusty Wallace.
The 60 there, Jeffrey Bodine, goes in on the bottom side. You see our leader, Jeff Burton, just behind him. Now you watch Bodine, the back end just starts around. He makes contact with the 2 of Rusty Wallace, both of them sliding in front of our race leader. He goes to the bottom of the track. They make contact there.
That's a good description of loose. Real loose. Way too loose. Here it goes again. On the bottom, Jeffrey Bodine. Tail end comes right out. He collects Rusty on the high side. Watch, Wallace will come down now. Here's where Rusty gets the front end damage right there.
Look at Dale Jarrett up here in the smoke. Just barely getting through there. He really got on the binders hard.
We're going to go for a ride with Dale Jarrett. This ought to be quite the ride. Hang on.
Watch the visibility as we go in this cloud of smoke.
Oh! It looked like he was heading right for it, buddy.
Boy, I've been there before, I'll tell you. I knew that was going to be an ugly sight.
The 1990 winner, Rusty Wallace, in big trouble here. St. Louis, Missouri driver got a bashed up Miller Ford. He tries to get back out here and do something. 109 laps, 163 of 600 miles complete. After the second caution is coming to conclusion, one more lap and we will be racing. Let's have an STP pit roundup.
There's a problem for Tony Stewart in his car. He's extremely hot, and he's feeling a bit nauseous. Says he hasn't eaten a lot all day. The next time he comes in, they're going to give him a power bar. They're also filling some plastic bags full of ice, which they're going to put down his back and put underneath him in the seat to try to cool him off a little bit, but a physical problem right now for Tony Stewart.
Rusty Wallace's crew continues to work on his car. See down the left side of the machine, they've got a string out. They're trying to check the alignment of the front and rear ends together, needing to have a square race car, as they call it. Still working to try to line the front end left to right, and now the front to back end. It's a mess for Rusty Wallace.
Hey, Alan. Jeff Burton was very lucky to miss the number 2 in that last incident. When he pitted, they didn't make any adjustments, but what they did do was clean the grill to the car so they can get plenty of air into that engine compartment. And also, if there's a look as he's going to go just underneath the 60 of Jeffrey Bodine and the number 2 of Rusty Wallace. And boy, that was lucky to avoid that accident. And as we said, they cleaned the grill off. He might have got some rubber on the front of that grill from those tires. And also, Buddy Baker, we've heard Mark Martin tell his crew that he has never used so much brake in a race here in Charlotte as we go back to green.
Green flag, green flag.
What it means is he's probably going down in the corner, and it's got a little bit of push in the car, getting into the corner. He's using the brakes to stable the front end, get a little more down pressure. As he goes along and the racetrack gets a little better, he won't have to use as much brake.
Yeah,
needs a break.
He does. He's trying to get his lap back.
Here's the point leader, the 1996 winner of the event, and he's getting it back right there as he gets real racy. But Jeff Burton comes back on the outside, trying to put him down that one full lap. At the present time, that would make Dale Jarrett.
Trouble up in turn 4.
One car
on the wall.
Don't know if they're going to bring the yellow out or not. Keep digging.
It's Jeffrey Bodine again, hitting the wall again.
In turn 4, let's see, caution is out. Maybe some parts out there in turn 4 as the number 60 slams the wall on that restart.
He stayed up against the wall quite a while there. I'm sure he did quite a bit of damage as far as knocking the rear end housing over in that car. You can see the left rear sticking out under the fender there.
Here they come to the line. It looks like Dale Jarrett's going to get his lap back. He's there in the 88.
Hard luck for one, good luck for another.
Bad luck here for Jeffrey Bodine in the power team number 60.
Bet something broke in that race car to put him in the wall the second time. Almost guarantee it.
It looked like it jumped up a couple of lanes.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Bodine wheels it around, and he's taking it right to the transporter. Big break for the Winston Cup point leader. Dale Jarrett has made up his lap. Here it is. We'll be back in a moment.
I got a call. The Coca Cola 600 on TDS is brought to you by Castrol GTX, the motor oil that provides maximum protection. Castrol GTX, drive hard. And by Goodyear. Need tires? Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
We're back with you. 114 laps complete, 171.5 miles down in the Coca-Cola 600. And here's why we are under caution. Take you to turn 4 with Jeffrey Bodine.
Yeah, he's just right into the wall. Had just crashed a couple of laps earlier, and something obviously went wrong with that race car. Perhaps a tire went down or a mechanical problem of some kind.
Mike has Jeffrey Bodine with him.
Hey, Jeffrey, what happened?
Which time? The first time I was trying to keep from going a lap down. We had a really good car, and trying to get by Rusty, and I got under him down the backside and just got loose getting into 3 and went up and hit the wall a little bit. We fixed the car and everything felt all right, but on a restart went down into 3 and everything felt good, but the tire blew. Must have cut it somehow. Something was rubbing or something. And now we got some serious damage to fix, so it's going to take a little while, but not quite as good a day as Kenny Brack had and AJ Foyt and Indy with the power team car up there, but we were running good here. Just a shame this happened.
Blown tire puts Jeffrey Bodine in the wall.
Memorial Day 1999 at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Steve Burns has more. That's the veteran Darrell Andrews.
And Ken, Darrell Andrews is the tire carrier on this team. That last incident was a big break for Jeremy Mayfield. But let me tell you, Paul Andrews in 1967 was serving in Vietnam. He was a sergeant in the 1st Cavalry. He was injured when a mortar went off behind him. His left arm was severely mangled. He was taken to a military hospital in Yokohama. While in the hospital, he overheard 3 doctors discussing the inevitable amputation of his arm. He begged the doctors not to take it. One of the doctors turned around and said, "Soldier, where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Siler City, North Carolina." The doctor said, "Hey, I'm from Statesville. Soldier, I'm going to send you home." Darrell Andrews is with us. He was taken to Walter Reed Hospital in D.C., where doctors, the trauma surgeons, saved his left arm. Darrell, it's an honor to speak to you tonight on Memorial Day. Tell us about your experience.
Well, it's an honor to be here, but most important is able to have this left arm that I was blessed to, Lord bless me, let me keep it, and we beat the odds, and we still have it.
Do you have any emotions on Memorial Day, Darrell, thinking about Vietnam and your comrades?
Yeah, early in the evening when all the choppers came in, it gave me cold chills and brought back a lot of memories. I was 1st Cav Division. I did a lot of flying in choppers over there, and it did bring back a lot of memories.
All right, thank you, Darrell. We're going back green, a real hero here in the pits.
Now 2 cars have made up a lap. Mayfield as well as Jarrett made up a lap. Both of them came in and strapped on 4 new tires as we get back under green. They're in that lead lap, and we now have a total of 15 cars up in front, buddy.
Yeah, and what's happening right now is the racetrack is starting to get a little bit cooler out there. The front part of the racetrack, the front straightaway and all, is totally in shadow now. So things are changing on this racetrack. Some cars that looked real bad at the start of this race will start looking much better now.
Sterling Marlin, who shows right behind the number 99 car, has gone a lap down, tried to make it up on that restart, was unsuccessful in doing so.
Jeff Burton, once again showing the power of his wild cord, puts the 99 in front. Bobby Labonte second, Gordon third, and Dale Earnhardt comes to fourth. Steve Park is in fifth, Mark Martin sixth, Ward Burton seventh, and Stewart finds himself in eighth.
How could he ever eat a power bar with one of those helmets? Did you see that helmet on that he's wearing? How would you ever get it into your mouth?
Well, he was drinking water and trying to get a little more. First thing you do when you do the races like he's done today, you start to dehydrate even though you don't know it. He was drinking water and trying to get himself back where he's normal. And right now he's fighting a problem with heat. I think once he gets something to eat, maybe a little more water in the system, he'll be pretty good.
They have intravenous power bars. I wonder about that.
Something different on the other end. But I never ran an Indy in the 600 the same day either.
No, only one guy has done that, John Andretti, and he didn't finish the 600. He did finish Indianapolis. His first year here ever. He finished the Indianapolis 500 in 10th, which came out here to Charlotte. Blew the motor, hit the wall, and that was the end of the day.
There you see Stewart in the 20, pressed up on the outside in heavy traffic. Nadeau in the 9, the Melling car down at the bottom. And that team drives with heavy heart, that number 19, Harry Melling, whose cars with Bill Elliott won 34 Winston Cup races, 11 Super Speedway races in 1 year. Harry Melling at age 54 passed away yesterday. And they're racing in his honor out here today and doing a good job right now. They're being shown 22nd position for Nadeau. Cartoon Network car there in the bottom of the screen. Jeff Gordon in trouble. That's your second place car. Things not looking good on number 24. Jeff Gordon in trouble. Trying to make it 3 in a row.
He's dropping back.
Looking doubtful. Here comes Earnhardt around him.
That's not a good smoke either. It's coming out from the center part.
Yellow flag coming out.
Fourth caution. Right here. Right now. And he may have laid some oil down as Gordon presumably has an engine expiring. We'll find out in just a moment. There's the 40 making up a lap. Back in the game indeed is Sterling Marlin in number 40. Marlin makes up a lap as Gordon pulls on to pit road.
Well, Ken, that's how fast things can change. You say 600 miles, but right now 600 looks pretty dim for him.
Diamonds last year, stones for 1999 for number 24, Jeff Gordon. Slowing down, pulling onto pit road, had won 2 in a row, 3 of the last 5 600s have belonged to this number 24.
Well, whatever it is, he's going around so he won't lose a lap. So he apparently is something that he feels they can adjust on.
Well, NASCAR put the caution flag out thinking that there was oil between turns 3 and 4, and indeed they've got a truck out there putting oil dry down in that area.
Steve Burns can tell us more.
Hey, Ken, they're not real sure right now what the problem is. They're going to raise the hood. They're not sure if it's the motor or if there's something wrong with the rear end. We do know that the oil temperature is okay, water temperature okay as well. So they're going to open the hood and find out what's wrong.
And you can see they're putting down some speedy dry out there.
You know, it looked to me like a gear problem because it was coming from the center. It was either transmission or gear because it was coming right in the center part of the back of the car.
Leaders pitting. Jeff Burton's in. Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, pole sitter. Kenny Schrader's there. Dale Jarrett, Jeremy Mayfield, all on pit road at the present time. Ward Burton in and out. There you see Tony Stewart.
Lunchtime? What do you think?
He got his power bar. Ray Evernham on the radio. Gordon fans want that three-peat. You're watching as the hood goes up. on Jeff Gordon's number 24.
You see it, Pat?
Yeah, and Ken, there's also two members of this team underneath the rear end of the car, checking there as well. Ed Guzzo looks around to the front. I don't know if they've made a determination yet, but again, they are on both ends of this number 24. So far, they haven't made any decisions. Jeff is listening to Ray Evernham. They do see some oil to the left front. But again, it's really hard to tell from where we are right now if and what is wrong.
All right, Dr. Baker, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. They abandoned the back of the car. That kind of shot a hole in what I was guessing it was. They all went to the front of the car. I'm not sure they know. They'll check and see where the car was sitting and see where the oil was dropping on that pavement there. You can see them bending down and see what kind of oil it was.
It didn't look like much oil either, did it?
Yeah.
And we had an oil down situation on the track. You saw the safety truck out there. Three-time winner, 94, 97, 98, is back on the track in his 7th 600. Gave it a good run yesterday and came up shy. Had to pull his car in from running the CarQuest 300 in Grand National. And here's Dale Earnhardt Jr. back on pit road.
Taking on tires. He's learning so much right now that'll help him in the future. I think that's what he had in mind. Just go out, get 600 miles under his belt, and learn these racetracks.
17th when he pitted.
Crew on that car has really had quite a weekend for themselves. They tried to prepare the Busch Series car where they finished second yesterday. This car as well. And incredibly, Tony Urey's father, the crew chief's father, passed away on Friday. Ralph Urey, and they are still here working on these race cars with a very heavy heart for sure.
A lot of people remember Ralph Urey. He drove race cars around this area for a long time. He was a plumber from Kannapolis.
Hey, buddy, quick question. Could that be power steering on that number 24?
It's definitely oil related. It could be anything. I don't want to speculate until Steve tells us what's wrong.
Going to stay here with you with 124 laps complete. We're in the 4th caution in the 600. And it's going to put Steve Parks, number 1, up in front. Steve Park first, Ward Burton second, Jeff Burton third. We'll have those brothers at it in second and third, Ward Burton and Jeff Burton.
Gordon down, coming back in the pits again and down the front straightaway.
Now that could be fun with the 22 and the 99 in second and third. Those Burton kids, as they'll tell you in South Boston, they may be brothers and they may love each other. They get on a racetrack and hope their father's here because this could get nasty. Again, we've got Gordon in.
Steve Park shows as the leader right now.
He didn't pit. Out there, Earnhardt is 4th. Bobby Labonte is 5th. Mark Martin in 6th. Andretti is 7th. Mayfield lies 8th. And Terry Labonte in 9th. Stewart is 10th. Those are your top 10. And we are showing now 15 cars in the lead lap. Gordon being the 15th, tailing things here and trying to remedy the mystery.
Evernham able to talk to the crew as they work on that race car. He could be the team's leader, mechanical leader, social emotional leader as well, decision maker.
Oh, you see a shot of the car of Tony Stewart when he came in. Well, they didn't just put fuel in the car. The driver got a power bar. He got 2 bags of ice that he put down the front of his fire suit. And they've just sent a crew member after more power bars. Every time he comes in, fuel for the car, some more fuel for the driver.
Ready on a restart. Showing 126 laps complete. 400 as they take green. Steve Park out in front.
Jeff Gordon is going to the garage area, it looks like, to fix this car. You can see the crews running around right now as he comes down pit road very slow. He's going to make a left turn right into the garage area.
Well, 3 DNFs this year, 31st place finish at Richmond. The Invincible team is having their problems this year. They will get it all back together again, you can be assured, but it's been a tough few weeks for these folks.
Gordon falling back in the points, and this will be another big hit if he's out this early. He will stumble another time, currently 5th in points when the evening started. Steve Park leads the parade. As of now, Dale Jarrett is in front. You see Burton second. Gordon back there in 5th in the point standings as the day began.
Well, look at those points when you think of what an up and down year Dale Jarrett has had. He began the year upside down at Daytona. In his most recent race, point race, Richmond, he won.
The Cyclone begins to pick up speed once again. It's Tony Stewart down on the inside in the number 20, trying to cut his way through lap cars and come after some more competitors to move back into those leaders.
Wonder how long Steve Park's going to be staying out there in the lead without having gotten tires on that round of pit stops.
Stewart is 8th, and Andretti is in 7th. Another lap on Musgrave, running in 32nd position, the number 75, the Remington car.
Remember Terry Labonte, we talked about him not long ago. Terry Labonte already up in the top 10 now.
He may be ailing, but he sure doesn't look it here. That's a good swath. Cuts to the outside. Remember the man he's after at the present time was Andretti. Now it's Mayfield. Andretti has moved around Mayfield, and the number 12 is the car that Stewart will challenge next.
Tony Stewart looks like he's on a half-mile dirt here. He's turning over cars, under cars. I'm telling you, he's making this thing work as he puts Jeremy Mayfield down the back straightaway. The 20 car is absolutely flying around this racetrack.
I think they fed that car some power bars in addition to the driver.
Into 8th. Into 8th. Meanwhile, 2nd place.
Look at this crowd is up on his feet right now as Dale Earnhardt takes over 2nd spot.
Black is back. Dale Earnhardt, the 7-time champion, the 3-time winner of the 600, puts it to number 3 and begins to close on Steve Park. If you want to see 150,000 people plus in this grandstand in unison, watch if Earnhardt closes on Park.
I would say Earnhardt's pretty pleased right now. Park leading the race in his car, and he's running 2nd right now.
That's good.
Due to change.
Mike Hawkwood standing by with Jeff Gordon in the garage.
Yeah, not a happy Jeff Gordon either. Jeff, what's going on up there?
Man, I don't know what's going on. What's going on? Things aren't going our way, that's for sure. But DuPont Chevrolet was running great. Some kind of seal in the power steering pump blew. I've never seen anything like this before. The car was driving great. I was a little bit loose on new tires, but we were great on old tires. I think we were really coming, but not going to be our day today.
Jeff Gordon, some things just keep going wrong on that 24 car.
At least that's something that they can fix. The seal in a power steering unit can be fixed. The blown engine can't be fixed. They cannot change engines. But anything mechanical on that race car, they've got some terrific mechanics on the 24 team, and they will get it fixed.
That's the 5th race of 12 in 99 that he has finished lower than 30th. The number 24, Jeff Gordon, way back. Take a look at Steve Park out in front in an Earnhardt car. There are no team regulations here. Park will give the old man a fight. Flying high above the Lowe's Motor Speedway Charlotte, the Bud 1 airship. To all racing fans, this Bud's for you. Beautiful night for a ride in the blink. Hey, since he started this race, if he were driving down the highway, Tony Stewart's gone about 200 miles from Indianapolis down to Lexington, Kentucky. A little 600-mile trip that he's making today after a 500-mile afternoon sojourn up at Indianapolis, Indiana. And he's moving right along with the program. He's being shown in 8th place and trying to close on John Andretti, who is in 7th. That's Ernie Irvin in the number 36 right there. Had a bad crash the other night. Ernie's running 18th on the field at the present time in the M&M's car. Ernie Irvin running a lap down. And now a lap down to Tony Stewart.
Hard to believe those yellow stripes on the back of Stewart's race car on that bumper.
Take a look at number 1 up in front. Paul Andrews, the crew chief on this one, buddy. And what a remarkable job Steve Park is doing, leading his boss by about 1 4/10 of a second now.
You know, you're exactly right. He's not losing any ground whatsoever. Steve Park out there going. This all started happening back in Richmond not long ago. He was up front there. All of a sudden, Steve Park is healthy again after being hurt last year, showing what Dale Earnhardt saw in him when he hired him to drive that car.
Check this for 4th place. Mark Martin moves around. There, the Burton brothers have been side by side for a while. Now, Jeff has moved away. There you see Ward in 22. And he's on the tail end of this group as Mark Martin, followed by Bobby Labonte. Then Ward Burton. Credit those cars. Martin running in 4th. Labonte 5th. Burton in 6th. Just behind him is Andretti in 7th. And then Stewart in 8th. Let's go to Mike Hogwood right now with Paul Andrews.
Yeah, Paul's here. Paul, you talk about bonding in a hurry. You and your driver have found some chemistry, and what a job he's doing out there on the track.
I tell you, it's a good organization. I'm glad to be over here, and things are going real well, of course. You know, I really didn't think as many people would sit. Of course, everybody did except us, but I thought it was a pretty conservative move what we did, you know, by staying out. But we're just glad to get this Pinball Chevrolet up in front, and we're glad to be here.
What's your driver saying about the track? Is it changing a lot?
Track's been good. The car's been pretty good. You know, really no big changes, really, from starting the race to right now. We just kind of adjusted on the car just a little bit.
That's Paul Andrews, the crew chief, and they've just added another member to this team. Dave Sharpenshear, one of the great engineers in Winston Cup racing, signed on with this team today. He's sitting up here on top of the toolbox with Paul Andrews.
Just imagine only one lap led by Steve Park in Winston competition before this race, which he, for the moment, is the dominator.
Well, also incredible is that Steve Park has never had a top 10 in his Winston Cup career. Boy, this amalgamation between he and Andrews is just perfect. And look at Earnhardt running in second spot strong.
Yeah, Earnhardt's going to have some company pretty quick, though. That 99 car, Jeff Burton, is flying around this racetrack. He's caught Earnhardt from about a 20-car deficit right now, and you can see the interval between the two, not much.
Let's get a story on that Earnhardt car from Steve Burns.
Hey, Ken, one of the things we're seeing in this race is three teams got together to develop an aerodynamic program called RAD. It's Dale Earnhardt's team, Steve Park, the 33, the 55, and the 1, and all 5 of those cars qualified in the top 15 and running well here tonight.
RAD stands for Richard Childress, Andy Petrie, and Dale Earnhardt. And all of the cars in the garage of those various teams are subject to this RAD program, which is an aerodynamic program headed by Lewis Duncan. Looks like it's working pretty well.
That last set of speed numbers showed that Earnhardt was the quickest thing out here, but tough riding with him along for the ride in the draft is that number 99. And that combination, turning those laps at 175 miles an hour recently, trying to close that ground, but they're not closing on Park for the moment. He still sustains first place.
As you very well know, catching Earnhardt's one thing. Passing him, that's another deal.
And catching his car out in front, the number 1 seems to be an issue for Earnhardt tonight. The number 3 here at this track in 1998. Didn't have much of a time. 39th in the 600, 29th in the 500. As we say, black is back. Earnhardt second, and his other car first. He'll tell you this is one of his most important tracks. He'll tell you that in 1986, one of his greatest wins was here, the first of his 3 600 wins. He went on to win the Winston Cup Championship that year. Looking a lot younger in 86 than even Earnhardt Jr. today. Right now, he's fallen to 3rd spot as the Duraload aerial platform gives you these pictures. Jeff Burton in the 99 has moved up into 2nd spot. Outgunned Earnhardt, who's now back here running 3rd. Mark Martin not too far behind him either. Martin may make a run on that good Wren Chevy before too much longer. Still, the man of the moment is Steve Park, out in front with a 1 7/10 of a second advantage over Burton, but it looks like Burton's ready to chop that down.
look at the scramble back in here. Earnhardt Jr. right now, kind of on an economy run right now, just kind of getting some time in these race cars, getting a feel for the car, but not really as fast as the front runners.
Stays right there in 20th position, and you saw the 88 of Dale Jarrett. He's in 12th spot. Mayfield with him in 11th.
If you don't believe it's hot in there, this little tube right here, that's for air. It comes in the side of the race car and shoots that air back on the driver. You can see his uniform there fluctuating as the air blows across it.
The reason you have to do that is the right side has a window in it, and aerodynamics dictate that these cars be pretty well sealed up. There's an open window on the driver's side, but you don't want to have any air blowing in there. That'll slow the race car down, so this is about the only way to keep the driver cool. That and a little air circulating through his helmet.
Running in 9th spot is Nadeau, and there's Jeremy Mayfield getting a lap on the inside with him.
Oh, hang on to that thing. He's fighting that steering wheel pretty hard right now. The car must be just a touch on the loose side. See him back and forth on the
170 miles an hour. I'd say that's a handful.
8,200 down the front straightaway. That's a lot of RPMs for 600 miles.
And there you see Dale Earnhardt Jr. up on the outside. Nadeau and Earnhardt are in a battle for 19th spot, and for the moment, you can give it to Earnhardt Jr. The owner of the car, number 9, Harry Melling, who passed away this weekend at age 54. Harry Melling started with Benny Parsons in Winston Cup racing, and Benny literally introduced him to Bill Elliott, and Bill Elliott won 34 races and 4 pole positions for Harry Melling in that great career, including that wonderful year of 1985 when they won 11 super speedway races, but this 600 escaped them.
A fine gentleman, and I tell you, he had a passion for this sport. He really went out several times and sponsored that car without any extra help from anyone.
Those were glorious days for Bill Elliott, running now in the 27th position. Our condolences and our deepest sincere wishes go to the family of Harry Melling today. Nice people, contributed so much to racing. Mark Melling, all that gang up there. His brother Matthew, sister. As I say, those folks. Mark said the other day, my dad loved racing. He met so many wonderful people over the years.
Looking at Bill Elliott's telemetry there, he's turning about 8,000. He's just a little bit off in the RPM down the straightaway. He turned 8,100, where Nadeau was turning 8,200 at far end of the straightaway.
Bill Elliott remembered Harry Melling a little earlier, shared some thoughts about this wonderful car owner that had such a great time in the 80s.
Not just a little. I mean, Harry believed in us. I'll never forget Ernie and I driving up to his office and sitting down and talking to Harry Melling about possible sponsorship for the 81 season. My sympathy goes out to the whole family, the whole Melling crew. I mean, I was a part of their deal from, you know, from like 1980 through 92, 93, and I still always was friends with Harry even to this day.
It's been tough for the whole team. He's been a great guy. I mean, I want to remember him the last time I seen him, which was at Talladega. You know, we had dinner the night before. He made some great steaks, and it's a really sad deal for the whole team. But if it was, you know, he's telling us right now to keep going, keep our heads up.
Jerry Nadeau keeping his head up, fighting it out here, back in 20th spot on lap 161. To Christine and Michelle, Mark and Matthew, best wishes from all of us here. Take a look at Mark Martin closing now on Earnhardt in the number 3.
Just as you said just a few minutes ago, it looked like Mark Martin had picked it up a little bit. He's running Earnhardt down. Earnhardt's car gets a little bit loose right there getting in the corner. Mark Martin's got a great run off the corner on him.
This will have the fans on their feet. Hard to figure who to cheer for here at Charlotte because they love Mark Martin and they love Dale Earnhardt as well.
Closing up on Mark a little. Take a look at this. Here comes Mark Martin up on the outside, and he's going to take a spot. Yes, indeed. Earnhardt falls back one more. You've got Mark Martin to third, Earnhardt in fourth. And Tony Stewart in that number 20 continues to attack and bust his way through this field. Nice move by Martin.
Quote from Earnhardt a week ago, it's harder to win than it used to be.
Third for Martin, fourth for Earnhardt, and here comes Jeff Gordon back out. Many laps down. They show him at lap 126 with a leader on lap 165.
Yeah, and that's what makes this race team as great as they are, though. They never give up. They're just going back out there, get as many points as they possibly can. This is a team that does not know how to quit.
And their motto is refuse to lose, and they truly believe in that.
Now you see that number 20 continuing to move through, getting up on Burton, going for Bobby Labonte. There you have it, first to second, and no question about it. The 99. Jeff Burton is closing on Steve Park. It's less than a second between the number 1 car in first and second. I want to remind everyone that the TBS Super Shop offers official NASCAR collectibles. Stay tuned throughout the race for your chance to purchase officially licensed merchandise. Toll free 1-877-577-SHOP.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm.
173 laps, 259.5 miles complete in the 40th annual Coca-Cola 600. This is the man now in front. Jeff Burton has run down Steve Park and made a pass that looked relatively easy, taking a pretty high line. We'll take a look at it right here, Buddy Baker.
Well, you can see right there as they come down the front straightaway, the 99 of Jeff Burton, he's looking him over. Steve Park realizes that he's much quicker, does not even put up a fight, rolls out of the throttle, lets him go right on by. That's a mature driver when you do that.
Took him on the inside in 1 and 2, but he closed almost 10 car lengths in turns 3 and 4 on the outside. Just rolled up through. He can put that car anywhere.
He's got a bigger problem, though, than having been passed for the lead, and that is that he took his last pit stop right around lap 107, and the leaders came in after that, you'll recall, about 15 laps after that, and they pitted. So Park is going to have to pit for fuel in just a few laps.
Perhaps less than 5. We'll see Steve Park's number 1 on pit road. Kevin LePage in the 16 going a lap down. He's running in 28th position. Came into this race as a provisional. The other big story provisional-wise was the number 5, Terry Labonte, who's now up to 10th and running with the leaders.
Jeff Burton makes a lap around the racetrack. His wife makes a lap with him. I've never watched a wife in the pits that gets as intense about what he does on the racetrack as his wife does.
Closing up on John Winston, putting him a lap down. Here's Steve Park back there in that second spot. Let's go backstage with Alice Cook.
Well, keeping with our Memorial Day theme, 70 runners from 6 different Army bases finished a 1,700-mile relay today, and we're going to have Pat Traeger, the event organizer, tell us the purposes.
We ran to raise college scholarship money for the children of our fallen special operators who died in either combat or in training.
Great. And you know what? They raised over $70,000.
Great story. We saw them running out here before the race, Alice. Here's Steve Park. He's come on to pit road, making that stop at lap 176.
Now, he has just got to hope that there is not a caution flag to allow the leaders to pit under yellow, because that could easily put him a lap down, almost certainly will.
Mike Hogwood.
Well, Steve Park said he was a little bit tight in the turn, so they made an air pressure adjustment. He had 17 laps more on those tires than the others out on the racetrack. So he does have fresh tires and a full tank of fuel, and as you say, he hopes there's no caution anytime soon.
Here's Jeff Burton on the bottom, getting under one of the Bodine, or rather under Rick Mast in the 98. Closing up on Grissom in the 41.
Dominating performance by
Burton. Green in the 41.
Looking at Jeff Burton go around there. Steve Park made that stop and come back out on the racetrack in 15th spot.
As well as Burton is running today, believe it or not, this is not his best car. They demolished the car that they wanted to run in this race last week in the Winston in a grinding head-on collision. Now, this is a good car. It's the same car that won Vegas last year. He won Darlington with this car. The team has just decided that since this is the car that put them in the No Bull 5 program, well, why not give it a shot to try and win that $1 million bonus? But they really wanted to run the car they lost last week.
Actually, that number 41, David Green in that car. You saw the 41, and it is being shown in 32nd position. Temperature right now at 79 degrees, but it's still kind of warm as we get the evening time here.
It's just going to get better. The grip's going to get better. The speeds will get quicker now. And everybody's hoping it won't get much better for Jeff Burton, I'll guarantee you, because he is mowing them down right now.
Doesn't matter where that car works, outside, inside, the 99 will take this racetrack and go with it.
As temperature changes, it's going to have an effect on the way the race cars handle. So crew members, team members tried to figure out what the temperature and the weather was going to do tonight, set the cars up as best they could. It is quite a trick adjusting for the daytime start and the nighttime finish.
At second place, you saw the interval back to Mark Martin in second position.
I'd say Jack Roush knows how to pick a pretty good team, wouldn't you? First and second in this race right now. And Mark Martin helped Jeff Burton as much as he works on his car. He works on Jeff Burton's car as far as advice to how to fix that car for the race.
Saw the no bull competitors, those guys for the $1 million bonus. Right now, Jeff Burton has it in his pocket. Here he is, currently in second from 7th position. And he's got about 4.5 seconds to make up Mark Martin if he's going to go after that leader. He's in great shape. You've got a couple of Roush cars, 1 and 2 with a Joe Gibbs car. Bobby Labonte running in third.
Boy, that sounds like some kind of beautiful music down the front straightaway there. Mark Martin's car just absolutely sounds like it's just flying down through there.
You're talking about Roush having first and second place cars, and next year they're going to add Matt Kenseth to the stable. He will be working with Mark Martin as Mark brings him along into Winston Cup.
Here's Tony Stewart. That's 5th position. If you're just joining us, Tony Stewart came from dead last up to 5th after finishing 9th at Indianapolis earlier today.
This summer, if you can dream it up.
Here we are back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, giving you some highlights from earlier in the event. There's the pass by Jeff Burton over Labonte. Here's Buckshot Jones in big trouble. A little later on in the event, Jeff Bodine in the wall. He got into it twice, actually. First time spun around with Rusty Wallace. Then here's Jeff Gordon getting in big trouble. It was the mystery incident. Finally, a pass here that put number 99 into first place. Jeff Burton again, just 7-8 laps ago. We're at lap 188 at the present time. It's the 600. Charlotte. And there is the summary with 7 leaders, 9 lead changes. The average speed 145.253. 4 cautions totaling 16 laps. 1 car officially out of the race. That Darrell Waltrip car, number 66, lost an engine and is already up on the transporter. The 99 leads, and he leads big by 3 seconds now. Jeff Burton is pulled away from Mark Martin in second spot. Here's Martin holding out of that second position. He's been very strong at the present time.
You want to see a good handling car, look at the steering wheel there. Very little movement all the way through the corner. That means that car is sticking like he wants it to.
Buddy Alan Vesper can give us more.
Ken, you were talking a little bit earlier about the track temperature now that the sun is beginning to set. Dale Earnhardt's team is tracking that very carefully. They say the track temperature has cooled 15 degrees since the green flag wave, necessitating a lot of adjustments on their race car. When he comes down pit road in just a couple of laps, they're going to make a wedge adjustment, trying to change the weight balance on the car to try and get the back end to be a little bit better for him in the corner. The car is tight now, meaning it doesn't want to turn in the turns.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. still back there, 20th, 21st on the field. Rolls the number 8 back out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. making his first performance, his debut in Winston Cup racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
If you want to know why he stayed on the bottom of the racetrack so long, you cannot re-enter the racing surface till you get on the back straightaway. You never pull up in the preferred line coming out of the pit.
Particularly at turn 1.
You got it.
Earnhardt Jr. with that number 8. That was the number that folks saw Dale Earnhardt himself bring out here back in 1975. And here is Earnhardt now on pit road. Alan Bestwick waiting for him on pit road.
And Dale's going to have to go around his teammate Mike Skinner, who is pitted right in front of him. Richard Childress warning Dale on the radio about that right now. Here comes the crew over the wall. Earnhardt running in fourth. Again, as we reported a minute ago, they'll make a wedge adjustment. You can see over the top of the roof of the car, they put a wrench into the jacking bolt in the right rear. One turn down on that. Two going in, right side tires. Other cars sitting around him. Skinner leaves behind him. And Earnhardt in that customary, very low sitting position in the cockpit of the machine, waiting for the left side to drop, and now he takes off.
Stewart is in. He had come as far as fourth.
Tony Stewart is there, and there is big attention to the driver. He is going to get another power bar. They have prepared a bottle of Gatorade for him to drink, and they're going to put more ice so he can put it inside his fire suit. As you see them now going 4 tires around. Not a lot of adjusting on this car. Tony does it straight, and he is feeling a lot better.
And Jeff Burton's also on his way in. Bobby Labonte has just completed service. Here's Jeff Burton now to the attention of his team. The crew chief, Frankie Stoddard, one of the few who still changes tires. They're going to make a chassis adjustment, 2 rounds to the right rear. Now they come to the left side. Good stop. Gas goes in. Again, they did make a chassis adjustment. Trying for $1 million. 17.5 seconds for Jeff Burton.
Mark Martin briefly in first. Now his pit stop complete, as all the leaders pretty much have had their activity on pit road at lap 194. Some of them off here tonight.
Well, that's all been a break for Steve Park. They had a caution flag between the time when he pitted and when everybody else had pitted. He would have gone a lap down for sure, but he still remains on the lead lap, although his tires have got about 15, 16 laps more on them.
Terry Labonte's number 5. Now is the lead car.
You can see the difference in fresh tires and old tires. Terry Labonte on old tires. Look at him go by on the fresh tires there.
Well, he just waved as well that he's going to pit.
He's in. Picked up 5 points for leading the lap. Now Terry Labonte with the Kellogg's car is on pit road. Right side rubber being strapped on. See the food line clock clicking it off here. This means that Park, for the moment, has the lead.
Tell you, Steve Park has to feel pretty good right now. He's back in the lead again. He's a little out of sequence with the leaders as far as pit stops, but he's out there leading the race again.
Good shot from that dear little aerial platform as you see Terry Labonte re-entering the race. And there's your new leader, back in front another time. It is Steve Park having a great night in this Coca Cola 600. First run here, and he's making it a good one. More from the 600 after this. With us today is the Bud One Airship, reminding all race fans that Budweiser is NASCAR's official beer. Looking down on Steve Park in number 1, who just took that $10,000 halfway prize for being out in front in the Coca-Cola 600. You see Dale Earnhardt Jr. just behind him. Steve Park now leading with almost 3 seconds over second spot. And take a look at this summary. 9 leaders, 11 lead changes at mid-race. 300 down, 300 to go with an average speed of 146 miles an hour. 4 cautions to date. Now, if it stayed this way and there were no more cautions, with Park out of sync like he is, wow, he could pull the upset of the year. Well, maybe. We'll see. Leader at halfway has failed to win the last 5 races in the 600.
Well, by the same token, if we do get a caution flag when everybody needs to get tires, that's going to put Park right back in sync with everybody else, and that's really what he needs to have the best shot to win the race.
Alan Bestwick has more on that number 8 car.
Well, Ken Toniuri Jr., who's the chassis specialist on his car, just told me that why they got so far behind is that Dale Jr.'s car got extremely loose earlier, and they just wanted to make sure it was there and running at the end to get all 600 miles in. No adjustments this time on the pit stop, and now he's gone back out again, and the car's gotten loose on him again, so they're going to try and fix him up. But other than that, no comments out of the ordinary from Dale Jr., even though he's running now farther than he's ever run in a NASCAR race before. He said everything's just fine. He's just kind of cruising along.
That'll go in his notepad for next year. The bad thing right now, you want to talk about who's the fastest car on the racetrack. It's Burton in the 99. He's running right now just about a half a mile an hour faster than our leader, Parks.
Park still has an advantage of 2 seconds, but it was considerably more than that a couple of laps ago. Burton is definitely closing the ground.
Real good job,
Steve
real
Park
good job, Steve.
Pennzoil number
31-46. About the same as second place now. You guys are looking real good.
Seems to have really made a magical difference in this car. And there's the interval about to come up for you as the first and second place is demonstrated.
Voice you just heard was Paul Andrews, Steve Park's crew chief, telling him he did a good job, and indeed he is doing a good job tonight. The whole team is doing a good job tonight.
Nemechek getting lapped by the 99, your second place car, and it's a straightaway difference between 1 and 2.
Jeff Burton using all that racetrack up in turns 3 and 4. Very high down in there. Still running pretty low through here. There's Steve Park, our leader, in the yellow at number 1 there.
Mark Martin stays third. Bobby Labonte, who sat on the pole with a new record for the 600, is in 4th. Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 5th, and Stewart remains in 6th. Here's Martin down the inside going under Elliott Sadler in the 21. That 21 car is in 21st. 2 laps down.
Last lap around the racetrack. Steve Park, our leader, 171.543. Mark Martin, 172.411. Now they get the traffic, and all three, the first 3 cars are running very similar.
171.5 miles an hour.
For all his success here at Charlotte, Mark Martin has never won this 600-mile contest. He's won the fall race 3 times. He's won 6 times in the Busch Series here, twice in IROC, never this race.
Close tonight, still up there in 3rd spot. Vinnie Donlevy's number 90.
Elliott Sadler right there. He's following Mark Martin, getting some pretty good lessons right now. It's a little bit off the pace, but he's learning a lot. All these younger drivers right now, they're making notepads right now for the future.
Bud Strickland back in 37th spot, just getting lapped out there in the number 90. Good to see Donlevy's car make this race for sure. Here's Mark Martin, 3rd spot. Behind him comes Terry Labonte. Labonte has been trying to close on him a little over the last 4 or 5 laps, but Martin, for the moment, there you see him. The number 18, Bobby Labonte, won the Winston Cup race here as his first victory in the most competitive competition in the world.
He still holds the record, the all-time record for this race, Bobby Labonte does.
There's that number 5 car, and Terry Labonte is back there in 9th position. Brothers right up there in the top 10. And remember that Terry Labonte, who said the car was just not a very good car a week ago, Saturday night, when they came out for the Winston, and he came home with top prize, over $200,000. Still a ways to go, just past halfway here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And we can go backstage right now with Alice Cook.
Well, NASCAR is involved in charities of all kinds, and Mark Martin is an honorary big brother who's raising money for that organization. With me is the CEO of Valvoline, Jim O'Brien. What can you tell me about the program?
Valvoline and Mark Martin are trying to work very hard to try to raise 10,000 bigs for big brothers and big sisters. At the same time, we're trying to raise some money to help in this cause, and so far already this year, we raised $150,000. And through the help of the Speedway Children's Charities, we raised $93,000 here at the track with the Caring Hands program.
That's terrific. And you know, if Mark Martin wins tonight, it's $5,000 for the big brothers, $20 for each lap led, and that goes for every race this season.
Mark Martin is pretty serious about that. He's done some very good work for those folks. Here's Steve Park with the advantage. That stays at 1 9/10 of a second over second place. Jeff Burton to decide this Coca Cola 600. Will it be an upset?
Brought to you by Winnebago Industries. For information on Winnebago Industries products for the Winnebago Motorsports team, call 1-800-642-4892. Mack trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sale. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR, Kart, IRL, NHRA, ASA, and the World of Outlaws. Call Featherlight for trailer and motor coach needs at 1-800-800-1230. And by LA West Luxury Vans, available at select dealerships nationwide. Call for a free video, 1-800-786-VAN.
At Lowe's Motor Speedway, 325.5 miles are down, 217 of 400 laps. And Steve Park is the man of the hour. Staying in front, missed 15 races a year ago after he practiced and crashed in Atlanta, Georgia. He's certainly making some good time today, and it's a magical story. There's the second place car. That number 99 definitely closing down. It's now a half second between first and second place. We spotlight some more of the field here. Watching Park in the number 1 going through. He is having such a great night. Started 5th and leading now by about half second. Right behind him.
That's Jeff Burton in the 99. He's right behind Park right now, our leader.
Made a remarkable close, almost a lap. And here you see the 31 right behind him, Mike Skinner. I think he's back in the 13th spot at the present time. Take a look at Ernie Irvin. He follows next on the track. He's running in 16th spot. The M&M car, all coming from the Dearly aerial platform here. Here's the 4, Bobby Hamilton. Credit him with what? 18, Doc? And then you got the 42 Nemechek in there as well. And then you got the 28. That's Ernie Irvin.
Kenny Irwin Jr. in 17 there in the 28.
Here's that 6 car of Mark Martin coming through, just behind the Nemechek, number 42. And remember that Martin is running 3rd overall on the field. This is how the field is deployed, better than halfway. Bobby Labonte right behind Mark Martin, and that right behind looks like about 2.5 to 3 seconds. Labonte running in 4th. He is directly behind Mark Martin. Here you see, let's see, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is there. Now he would be 20th on the field, and 21st is Elliott Sadler. About to take a spot. Elliott coming around. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the number 8 car. Here's Kyle Petty. He's running 34th in the number 44 in that early incident. And 41st on the field and way back. Going to suffer in the points tonight, number 24, Jeff Gordon. Just getting around that 44. Here's Earnhardt. He's 5th overall on the field. Take a look at Ted Musgrave. He's right behind them, and that would be 30th position for number 75, Ted Musgrave. And Junie Donlevy's number 90, Hut Strickland at the keyboard, runs in 35th position. A little further back.
Tony Stewart there in the 20.
He's running in 6th spot.
6th spot. Bill Elliott's number 94 pulling up next. He'll be in 22nd position. And the 98 is Rick Mast, 39th. Let's see. Jimmy Spencer. Remember, he had trouble early, got caught up in that first incident from laps 5 to 8. Got some debris through the radiator, lost a lot of laps, but he's still out here. Jimmy Spencer, number 23, being shown 40th in the 600. Here's Wally Dallenbach's number 25, 24th position, Doctor?
Yep, that's where he is. Several laps down.
Wally Dallenbach is riding out the colors in the Budweiser car. Next year, that sponsorship goes fully with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Take a look at Kenny Wallace. He's 14th and shown just a lap down. Remember, he was right up there in the 2nd row when it started. David Green's number 41 is 32nd. 77 is right there. Robert Presley, the Jasper Engines car.
At 97, that's Chad Little. He's in 31st.
And the 77 would be in 25th position on the field. What do we got here? The 22, Ward Burton. good night thus far, but it seems to be 7th spot at the present time. 45 is Bickle. He's in 33rd position. And behind him, you got Buckshot Jones. Remember, he was in an incident earlier, and he's lost a number of laps. Well, the leaders are on 227. He's at 222 and shown in 35th. And once again, there's Terry Labonte's number 5, and he is running 8th on the field. There's Kenny Schrader that we haven't seen much of tonight, having a very good run. It's 9th position for Ken Schrader.
He's hovered around the top 10 all night long. Schrader having a really good run here.
Sterling Marlin's number 40 is back there in 15th.
Yeah, back down in the lap as well.
Pretty much down through the field.
Johnny Benson in the 26th there, and the 11 is Brett Bodine.
So Benson, and that's a race for position. They're in 26th and 27th. Benson, yellow number 26, and Bodine in number 11 is 27th. There's Ricky Rudd. Not a good night for Rudd, a brand new car. It's running in 28th position. Dale Jarrett's 88. He's being shown as 10th, buddy. Still in that lead lap.
Yeah, he fought back. He's about to go a lap down. Running very well tonight.
Jeremy Mayfield's number 12, and that's for position. He's in 11th, and directly behind him in 12th is Andretti, number 43. There you are, back with your leader. Well, that's how they're deployed on the track at the present time. With Steve Park continuing to lead, but look who's there, ready to attack and try to take it back. It's Jeff Burton in the 99.
The Coca Cola 600 on TBS is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. For great parts, prices, and service, visit Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. And by the Home Depot, America's home improvement coach.
It's a battle for the lead. Jeff Burton's up on the outside. He has tried for 6 laps to get by. Steve Park wouldn't give him ground, but this time he's going to make it through. Park put on a couple of laps. That time way up on the high side.
Let him roll. We're in real good shape.
Where he seems to get such a good bite. It works for Jeff Burton.
Yeah, things are not working right now for the one of Steve Park. He just got past the lead, and we understand he has to make a pit stop pretty quick now.
Probably in 6 laps or so.
Lap 240, he's going to have to come in and pick up fuel. Remember, he is out of sequence by approximately 17 laps with all these other cars. So here's the danger he faces once again. If he pits, then we get a caution flag and the rest of the leaders get to pit. He will almost certainly go down a lap.
325 of 600 miles have been completed, and it has been a battle most of the way between Steve Park and Jeff Burton.
This could be his caution flag right here. The rate these guys are going.
I was just saying, we say this every once in a while. That's the recipe for a wreck. It's very close.
Well, they're on old tires right now. They're running very close together. Those are battles for position in there.
Track temperature coming down, and everybody seems to have a little better bite than they did earlier, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I would bet that it's anywhere from 16 to 18 degrees cooler than it was when the race started right now. We're in darkness now under the lights, and the racetrack is getting much better grip.
And if anybody is running a little low out there, you'll see the sparks fly, particularly down here in turn number 1. Wear them down. Leader about to get himself into some serious traffic here. That's not serious traffic. Well, it is. It's very serious. That's a battle for position. You see Jarrett, 88, 43, and 12 of Mayfield. They're all up in there. Mayfield is running in 12th position with number 12. He's been taken down. And now the leader, number 99, is closing in on 11th place, John Andretti, number 43.
Yeah, John Andretti in the 43. And what's happening right now? They're probably calling him and saying, the leader's coming up on you. And he says, so? I saw him coming a long time ago. Nothing I can do about it.
Well, he surely does. Whoa! Steve Park in trouble. Crashed. Oh.
Steve Park slams the wall and comes down into the tri-oval area right under the flag stand.
Okay in there?
That picture tells the story right there. You can see the pit crewman. They just, wow.
His spotter on the roof looking down at the destroyed.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Steve Park, number 1.
It's over.
That's the radiator fluid coming out of the car there.
What a beautiful run
Wow.
he had going, and what a place for him to stop right at the start-finish line. On a night he might have
Discouragement
won.
edged on the face of the entire team. His spotter on the roof looking down as Steve Park gets into trouble.
Oh,
lap traffic. Ty Norris was his spotter.
And he's also the team manager. He runs this whole organization at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. What a sad occasion. They might have won tonight. Instead, here they are wrecked at the start-finish line.
Wanted a caution, did not want to be involved in it. Steve Park out of East Northport, New York. Crew clambering down along pit road to take the equipment back, and here's the replay.
Steve Park comes right on the bottom of the racetrack, comes up, makes contact right there.
It almost looked as if he was trying to get around a car that was headed toward the pits and just sort of lost the balance of the race car. Something happened. He was clearly on old tires. He had to come in and pit within a lap or two.
There it is again. But it was just before that when it began. It was Jeremy Mayfield where it started. It was a little further up the track.
What it is, they call that a narrow push. If he started off the corner, he lost the front end, moved over into Jeremy. Light contact, he jerked the wheel, and that set him going.
Let's go down to Mike Hogwood, who's with Paul Andrews.
Hey, Paul, what's your driver saying happened out there?
Well, it looks like he said maybe a lap car got in the way. We're not real sure right now, but well, you know, we had a good run, had a good car. We'll just have to do our best to get it fixed and see what we can do to get back in there, gain some more valuable points.
What chemistry, though? You really fit with this team.
It's worked out real good. You know, like I said, we've had a real good weekend. You know, unfortunately, it's not going to finish off on a good note, but the positive thing here is we did run good, and you know, I think we got a lot to show them.
Down pit road now to Steve Burns.
And Mike, Jeff Burton is in. They've already changed the right side tires in the number 99. They're going to make a small adjustment, take half a pound of air out of the right front. 4 tires for Jeff Burton. Wow, another 16-second pit stop.
Pit road. Everybody's on it, but the guy that so much wanted to be there and been talking about it on the radio, Steve Park, picking up the car, equipment being moved back to the transporter, and the night ends early for the effort of the Dale Earnhardt Racing Team car with Paul Andrews as crew chief, Steve Meal as team director, having their finest night end early here in the 600. That's the way it happens in Winston Cup racing.
We've been up and down this year. We're certainly not thrilled with the way, you know, each and every race has gone this year. But we're happy with our performance. We're happy with the team. We're happy with the way people are working together. And to me, this is the type of year where you really find out what you're made of. You know, it's easy to stick together. It's easy to be happy and smiling when, you know, things are going your way. And this year, things have not been going our way if you compare that to the last 4 or 5 years. But we're encouraging everybody out there, race fans or non-race fans, to call 1-800-MERO-2. It's such an important program. It's something that we've really gotten behind, and I feel very strong about, because I want to see myself, but see people out there helping to save lives of those who need bone marrow transplants.
Jeff Gordon, some thoughts about that bone marrow program that is so important to the Hendrick Racing Team. Coca Cola 600 with 243 laps now completed, the 400 to be run. There is Jeff Gordon's car that's running in 41st at the present time. Jeff Burton will find himself in the front running position after we have completed the 5th caution of the race. Take a look at where Tony Stewart has been. He went 493.5 miles. He was down, what, 3 laps?
3 laps down
at Indianapolis. So he's running 600 miles after that this evening. And so since he left Indianapolis, if he was on the highway right now, and there were no state troopers, all green lights and so forth, he would have covered right down to Knoxville. That's about 300 miles since this race got underway shortly after 6 o'clock. He might have had a record number of tickets by now. Or he probably would have been stopped somewhere for the evening. We'll take a break and be back with more. Jeff Burton has it for the moment. And the guy that set on the pole is back to second spot, Bobby Labonte. Mark Martin lies third. Don't miss live in-car camera action today. in the running of the Coca Cola 600. Log on to tbssuperstation.com. As we log on now, we're 246 laps deep into the running of the Coca Cola 600. And Jeff Burton is up in front. Jeff Burton, who this year scored his 7th victory at Darlington in a most unusual manner. How about tagging the wall, getting caught up in an incident that should have put you out of the race with a car looking like that? Brings it around under the yellow flag. The rain comes out, and guess who was in victory lane? You got it. Red flagged on lap 164, and Burton took it home. Every race counts. Steve Park standing by right now with Mike Hogwood.
All right, Steve, the run of your life going on out there. What happened?
Well, we just dropped back to second there. We were just on a little bit of a different lap sequence with tires, and Pennzoil car was running great. We just come down in between the 12 car and another car that was on the apron, and the guy on the apron come back out on the racetrack and forced me up high and got the car turned around. And just a real disappointment. This Pennzoil team's worked real hard, and with the addition of Paul Andrews, man, we just had the race of our lives going here. And I mean, I just can't explain the disappointment, but I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all the veterans who, you know, we can't forget it is Memorial Day, and you know, all the veterans that are in the stands that have given all of us young guys the opportunity to do what we love to do, and that's race cars.
Steve Park proving tonight he is for real. Steve?
Hey, Mike, quick update on Mark Martin, the last pit stop, some chassis adjustments. They raised the track bar and took some air out of the right front tires. Update on Dale Jarrett, the championship leader. A spring rubber in the right rear, plus some tape on the nose, which will actually help it stick better in the corners. Jarrett's not given up yet, although he can't quite get up and run with the leaders.
That's our STP pit roundup as we go back to green with Jeff Burton out in front, Bobby Labonte in second, Mark Martin in third, and Stewart running fourth.
You can see with a full fuel load, a lot of sparks flying out of the Bobby Labonte car. Those sparks are there during the day. You just don't see them. At night, they really show up.
Full tank of fuel, hang them low down here in turn number 1. Take a look at that green number 18, Bobby Labonte, quickest in qualifying. Broke Jeff Gordon's 600 qualifying record of 184 plus with a strong lap of 185. But here comes the 99. It's Jeff Burton right back in it again. Good struggle going on here among these guys for the lead. That's all for first place.
Bobby Labonte fighting back on the outside, gets a great run off the corner there, pulls about a half a car length lead. Now he's a full car length ahead.
Bobby Labonte in the 18. Makes it look pretty easy for the moment. Not that easy, huh, buddy?
No, it's not easy at all, but I tell you, the way that 18 car runs up out of the corner, I think he has a lot of race car he hadn't used yet.
What about Mark Martin? Any of that car?
Well, Mark Martin, you never know about. I wouldn't play chess with him for anything on earth, because I think he's one of the smarter drivers out there. You can see him right now. You ride down in the corner, down in the third corner, steering wheel very, very still, and he's catching these guys. Look how smooth he is in the corner.
How do you feel about Tony Stewart back there in fourth spot in the number 20 at the present time?
How do you feel about him? He's moving up on Mark Martin right now to take the spot away from him.
Rear best, fourth position for Tony Stewart. That's the best he's ever done in Winston Cup racing. Pulled that finish off in California. He's in third right now.
And he's just improved to third spot right there. Leaders 9, lead changes 13, average speed down to 143, not near a record. As you watch Tony Stewart close in on the leaders, and remember, he came from dead last on the starting grid. He missed the drivers' meeting because he was flying back from a little event he had this afternoon up in Indianapolis, where he finished 9th.
You know, I'm thinking power bars and Gatorade myself. I tell you what, he's turned this thing on. Tony Stewart, they call him Tony the Tiger, and you can see why. I mean, he just drives his heart out all the time. Right on the bottom of the racetrack now, moving up on Jeremy Mayfield, taking a look on the inside as they come down the front straightaway.
What a month of May he has had, winning the Winston Winston Open last week, second in the Winston. Maybe the biggest event of the entire month, though, is his engagement to Kristen Dwyer. Says he's going to get married sometime in the year 2000. Yeah. Why delay that long? They got to find a stadium big enough to hold all their friends. That place is pretty big. Holds about 200,000, but I guess it's not quite big enough for Tony and Kristen.
Mayfield running in 12th. He is a lap down. Jeremy. And you see Stewart clearing, and now go ready up there to attack the leaders. It's Labonte first, Burton second, Stewart. And let's not forget, the other Labonte is lying back there in 10th spot. Points as of now.
Terry Labonte on pit road, unscheduled stop.
Well, that could change everything on that story. Terry Labonte on pit road in the number 5. The guy that won the Winston. Back out again on the track.
Left rear tire went down on Terry Labonte's car.
Well, that's really a bad break because he was running so very well.
614th consecutive start for Texas Terry. Amazing record.
Bobby Labonte still leading as you see him go down the back straightaway. Mike Skinner in jeopardy of going a lap down there in the 31 car.
Coming to the line, they had Mark Skinner as a lap down earlier. And no bull group.
This is going to get good. I see Tony Stewart now moving in on our 2 leaders. As we go down into turn 1, Stewart's got it down to about an 8-car length deficit.
There's your no bull update. Bobby Labonte qualified for it at Las Vegas. He could get $1 million bonus if he wins tonight. The 5 top cars at Las Vegas with the opportunity for the bonus here at Charlotte tonight. And that 99 and that 18 are both up for it, as well as Ward Burton in the 22 and Skinner in the 31. Jeff Gordon, you can count him out. He's many laps down after he had trouble early and had to stay in for 25, 30 laps.
This is looking back with our leader now. You can see Jeff Burton in the mirror here as they come down the back straightaway. This camera's got all 3 of the first 3 cars. Tony Stewart has moved in now to about a 6-car length deficit.
Getting tight. Tony Stewart definitely closing in on these leaders. Bobby Labonte stays first. Burton second. Stewart is right there. And Martin in 4th in the catbird seat, watching as this trio begins to duke it out.
Last lap around the racetrack, Tony Stewart, the fastest car on the Speedway, 174.7. Our leader, only 174.6.
Stewart not wanting to give up anything here. All the way from the rear, closes in. Skinner, a lap car, staying just in front. But Skinner's in 10th spot. He is on the tail end of that lead lap, is what it amounts to. He's on the very back end of it.
Top speed, Tony Stewart there, 174.701.
That's that 3rd place car.
As they say, that dog will hunt right there. I'm telling you, this boy's on the move. What a great driver. And you know, if you think about it, first full year, he's a rookie. Up here running with some of the best in the world.
Any guy that can win the midget championship, the sprint championship, and the Open Crown, Silver Crown championship in 1 year, all in open wheel racing, is very special. He did it. They're swapping positions, and guess who's doing the swapping? It's Tony the Tiger. Tony Stewart up to second, going for the lead.
Oh, don't do it to your teammate. As they go into turn 3, you can see Tony Stewart giving Bobby Labonte a break getting in there. He had the position to make a dive on the inside there, backed out of the bubble.
No team rules in stock car racing. Everybody goes for it. The Joe Gibbs car is running first and second. Here's Bobby Labonte down on the bottom, trying to check Tony the Tiger.
And the joker in this whole thing is the 31 of Mike Skinner, who's trying to prevent himself from going down. He does not want these leaders to get by him, and boy, he's a tough cookie. He's a real tough cookie. They're not going to get by him easily by any stretch.
And Skinner keeps turning out those kind of laps to stay right there. Whatever those top 3 are turning, he's turning as well to stay just up on the tail end of that lead lap. There you see Bobby Labonte, who won his first race in 1995 in this event, staying just in front of Tony Stewart, who's trying to duplicate that feat.
Greg Zipadelli, his crew chief, watching over Tony Stewart. Zip, one of the New England stock car crew chiefs, came down south here and has really made him a name for himself. Here comes Stewart on the inside.
Down to the inside he comes, and you've got Tony Stewart, and you can hear the crowd over the engine noise going into turn number 1. Yes, indeed. He's done it. From 43rd, he's raced his way into the lead. 9th at Indianapolis this afternoon. Mark it down. Tony Stewart trying to make some racing history. It was lap 268 when he made the pass to go into first place.
And every man that can sit up in an open-wheel car right now says, I want to go Winston Cup racing.
Look at this, number 99. Here's Jeff Burton down to the inside. He gets under Bobby Labonte. He picks up the spot. But Stewart's the man to chase now, and look at him draw away. Burton not waiting. Goes around. I would think that Mr. Zipadelli would be a very happy person right now, Dr. Berggren.
Well, I would think so as well. His first day on the job, he put this car on the outside pole at no less than the Daytona 500.
In Winston Cup, they say you can have either a rookie driver or a rookie crew chief, but not both. Well, Joe Gibbs has changed the thought about that, and the combination's working great.
I think crew chiefs and drivers are alike. I mean, if you have the talent to drive a race car, you're going to be a successful race car driver. And if you have the talent to be a successful crew chief, it's going to happen the same way, and you'll be successful. So, you know, he's got the talent. I mean, it didn't take long for me as a driver to figure out the talent that Greg has and the leadership that he has, and that's why he's going to be a successful crew chief in this series, whether his driver's Tony Stewart or anybody else in this garage area. But, you know, it's just the chemistry and the backgrounds that we've had and how we've had to work hard to get where we are. I think we both appreciate that with each other, and you know, when he's struggling a little bit on a given day, I'm pushing him, and when I'm struggling in the car driving, he's pushing me, and you know, we know we're working toward the same goal, and you know, that's what we've all had to do in the past, so I think that's not the lot.
Boy, what a race up in front. Mike Skinner does not want to give ground. He's trying to stay in that lead lap. And you saw Tony Stewart put the medal to him as he tried to get in there. They fought it out. Now it is Burton trying to get with Stewart, and they're side by side.
Well, what happened right there is Tony Stewart went up under there, got the car a little bit loose, trying to get under the 31. And I would imagine right now, he said, you know, I almost spun this car out. I'm going to back off here and ride for a second, get my composure back, and then make another charge.
It was right there in turn number 2 where he rode up on Terry Labonte, and it cost him the Winston. He ran in so hard in trying to get under him. Car pushed up a couple of lanes, and it let Terry Labonte, better tires, pull away and win that $200,000 prize a week ago Saturday night.
This is maturity right here, though. He dropped back there, got himself back under control. Race car is capable of winning the race. We know that. What he has to do now is just stay in contention.
We've got over 120 laps to go here, almost 130 laps to go in this race. A long way to go. And Tony Stewart's playing it smart. He's got a fast race car there. Not the time to wad it up.
272 laps, 408 miles complete. This is the time to usually say, gee, you know, just less than 100 to go. Not true here. It's 600 miles to decide the Coca Cola 600. Take a look at this replay. Hear what Buddy Baker has to say.
Well, right here, you can see right there, he just backed, oh, the back end jumped out on Tony Stewart. Now, let me tell you something. That would be like turning the air off on a diver. When you go down there and everything stops and it turns sideways like that, that's a cultural shock just for a second. Believe you me.
A cultural shock. Thank you, Dr. Baker. Here's Tony Stewart, still manhandling this number 20. He may be tired. He may be tuckered. He's had a couple of power bars, a little bit of water to keep him going, and he's right back in here now in third. Burton, Labonte, Stewart, the front 3, and Mike Hawkwood can tell us more.
Well, Tony Stewart has told his crew he feels absolutely fine right now. He thinks he can get back around the 18, but they are teammates, and he says he's going to sit right where he is for a little while. He's content to ride there and wait for this car to get ready to make a finish later in the race.
There are no team rules, but it wouldn't be very good for morale if the team cars got knocked out together.
I would not want to be in that Monday morning meeting with Joe Gibbs. Not at all.
So Jeff Burton is back in front. Will win number 8 be here in the Coca Cola 600 tonight. The South Boston, Virginia driver continues to look good. Joe Gibbs looking on. watching two of his cars in the top three, but at the moment chasing a Roush Ford. Those two Pontiacs. It's exciting here in the Coca Cola 600. Back with the Coca Cola 600, 40th running. And at the present time, number 99 has just moved around. Skinner put him a lap down, and Labonte has done the same. Let's go backstage right now at lap 281 and check in with Alice Cook.
Well, Tony Stewart had his power bars. These fans have their hot dogs. You would not believe how much food is being consumed down here. It would take Superman's shopping cart to feed this crowd tonight. Check this out. 16 tons of beef will be eaten, 20,000 hot dogs, 60,000 pieces of chicken, 20 tons of barbecue, 60,000 slices of pizza, and 180,000 cans of beer to wash them down with. And that doesn't include what they bring in. So obviously, watching NASCAR really builds up an appetite. I'm wondering, are you guys getting hungry?
Well, we have our bananas. We're on our potassium diet load here at the present time. But boy, does that stuff look good, huh, buddy?
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm further up on the food chain, too.
Burton and Labonte and Stewart 1, 2, and 3 at the present time. Skinner having faded back after putting up a very stout run in front. There you see Jeff Burton. There's the one. Here comes that number 20 of Stewart in third spot.
Skinner hasn't faded far back. He's right in the middle there.
Here's Mark Martin.
Mark is the guy right now. He's just sitting there. He's moving up. He's very methodical about everything he's doing. He's making his moves down the straightaway, as you can well see. But he's really not putting his car through any hard paces. He goes in the corner there. He drops right down on the bottom. That car is working so well. Look at that steering wheel. I drive harder than that going in my driveway.
See all those gauges on his dashboard? 8 different gauges, 8 different switches, and he's not watching any of them, I'll guarantee you.
Then why would they have him there?
Because when things go wrong, that's when he keeps an eye on them. He's got gauges there for all sorts of things, including engine vacuum and water temperature and water pressure, oil pressure. And when the engine doesn't feel right, that's when he starts watching.
Maintaining 5th. Here he is, number 3, Earnhardt. S99 finish in an unrestricted place race. That was 7th at Vegas. Up to 5th at the present time, the 3-time winner of the 600. And his son, Dale Earnhardt Jr., well, he's worked his way to 18th. Qualified 8th, and he's having a very good run. Until tonight, Dale Earnhardt Jr. had never gone more than 300 miles. He's sure getting it done this evening. Take a look at Dale Jarrett in the number 88, now being shown in 6th position. Fair into the back between Earnhardt to Jarrett. Jarrett, former winner of this race. A lap down for a while. Made that lap up, got himself back into this race, and he can be a contender when it gets down to checkered flag time.
Oh, boy, I tell you, that old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. He's one of those guys, and I would never count that race car out.
He's led this race 8 times in the 12 starts until tonight. Hasn't led yet tonight, however.
Showing 287 laps, now complete, 430.5 miles down the 600-mile distance. This is the time when they usually cool it. Boy, they didn't cool it tonight. Stewart and the Skinner incident up there when he was trying to keep that lap. This was not a very stable race. That was wild stuff.
Just a few laps ago, though, Stewart did get by the 31 of Mike Skinner.
88, Dale Jarrett, back straightaway.
When he wants to cool it, this is how Dale Jarrett does it. That little switch right there turns on the blower for his helmet. And his crew says that's his air conditioning system, but that's just room temperature, ambient temperature, if you will.
I would just about bet you that switch is on right now.
Yeah, on full and then some.
And the ambient temperature in there is?
I would say it's probably somewhere around 120 degrees inside the race car right now.
Your average sauna that you'd spend 5 or 10 minutes in.
Moving back up to the leader, giving you the big picture out here. There's Jeff Burton, he in first place. We remain with, what, 10 cars in that lead lap?
Ken, you just asked me a question about inside temperature. Well, Tony Stewart burned his foot in a race at night, and it just burned the heel right off his foot. That's how hot these cars are on the inside. You have the insulation in there to burn some of the heat, but let me tell you, it's plenty hot in there.
Let's check our cars in the lead lap now for folks observing ABS this evening. How many cars as we get down toward the last 100 miles to be run on this evening's program. I said we had at 10, and I think we're really at 8 at the present time. Schrader may be the final car in there, indeed. We'll be back with more after 291 have been completed to watch Jeff Burton try to win it. Dale Earnhardt Jr. The beginning on one weekend, $200,000 in souvenirs. For Dale Earnhardt Sr., it was sort of an empty start to his career back in 1975 here at Charlotte. The superstar today, new blonde hair, the special look. His sister helped him with that. Earnhardt Sr., helmet 3 or 4 years old, just another day in the office when he started out. The super shot. That's where they build him for Dale Earnhardt Jr. For Dale Earnhardt Sr., it all began right here. Ralph Earnhardt putting it all together in a 2-car garage. Battle for the lead is developing once again. Here comes Tony Stewart closing on number 99. He's been up there once, snuck a peek on the inside, pulled back about 4 car lengths. I think we're getting ready to set him up for another shot at first place.
Cool those tires back down. He passed Bobby Labonte, his teammate. You see Bobby Labonte, the green car there on the outside. Tony Stewart makes a move coming off the corner. Makes it look pretty easy. He's got a very, very quick car down the straightaway, as you can well see. They head into the corner. Bobby fights back. That lower line is just a little bit quicker.
And Stewart can hang it on that lower line. That was at lap 296. We're now at 298.
How tired is he going to be tonight, buddy, when this thing is over?
I think he's so right now, and let me tell you, that's adrenaline right now. You don't get tired. That's the first time he's ever been in striking distance for a win on a major speedway in these types of cars. I guarantee you right now, he feels like $1 million.
Looking at Jeff Burton, he was leading in Winston Cup standings, got to Richmond, had a bad finish, fell to second. Boy, he wants this race badly. And to keep Dale Jarrett just as far back as he possibly can. And Tony Stewart, he didn't come all the way from Indianapolis after the 500 this afternoon just to finish second. Rich Bickles, number 45, up on the outside. Got to go a lap down one more time.
Lap traffic has all to do with how you get around the corner there. Jeff Burton got tangled up there just for a second. And Tony Stewart gained about 6 car lengths. Then he got by Rich Bickle, the 45 there. It's just the way you catch traffic as to how fast you run around this racetrack right now.
Bickle, 31st. And now both Burton and Stewart have cleared Rich Bickle. So we're back to a battle for first spot. Clear ahead.
I think you're riding with the spoiler right there. Bobby Labonte looks awfully good right now. I think after they make their last pit stop, you're going to see him flex his muscle even more than he has.
450 miles have been complete. 150 miles remain in the event. Jeff Burton zeroing in, getting ever closer, and this is 167 starts.
He just said thank you to the lap car for letting him by.
I don't think so. I think you give him a little...
Think so?
Yeah.
Was he saying thanks?
It looked like a Mike Tyson wobble there on his arm.
Here we go. Stewart versus Burton.
I got to tell you, that wasn't anything but power right there. Tony Stewart made the move on Jeff Burton, and now he's just pulling right on away. What a great drive.
He cooled those tires, stayed down, waited a while, and brought it back. Now, how good will that pit stop be coming? That could be key to this event for Tony Stewart. He just took the inside. He made the move. He has taken first spot away from Jeff Burton. This is a remarkable story. Here is Tony Stewart, having finished in the top 10 at Indianapolis, clearing away from the Roush car of Jeff Burton, and now trying to put some distance on him and win the 600. Take a look. First Winston Cup win. David Pearson did it here. Jeff Gordon did it here. Bobby Labonte. And some of us older people think you can add Joe Lee Johnson to that list. But it happened here in the Coca Cola 600. It doesn't happen that much. Remember, this is the 40th time back.
The one thing I keep thinking is he's just getting used to these cars. How good is he going to be after a year of competing like he is right now? Although he does have great cars. Bobby Labonte has a lot of input on these cars. Joe Gibbs there, you can see he's getting a little nervous now. He's checking the times around the Speedway.
Oh, he doesn't look nervous. That's the poise of a Super Bowl champion, Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, right. That's nerves, pal.
Actually, I tell you what Joe Gibbs is doing. He's looking up at that moon and wondering if it's a silver one for him tonight. Looks gold right now. It's been a busy day for Tony Stewart. Here he is leading at the present time. This was him leaving Indianapolis this afternoon after finishing 9th, having dinner, power bar, changing uniforms, coming to the track, passing Rusty Wallace, not feeling too well in the car for a while, got a little sick, got a power bar, felt better, passed Mayfield. Now here he is taking the lead from Bobby Labonte at lap 268. Lap 272, he loses it to Jeff Burton. And then lap 302 moments ago, he takes the lead back. He's in the pit right now, and Mike Hogwood is there.
4 tires and fuel. That's all for Tony Stewart. He says the car is perfect. He's feeling great. He's excited. The adrenaline's really flowing here in the pit. Down and away, and 19.5 for Tony Stewart.
Here's the 99. His chief adversary, Jeff Burton, out of South Boston, Virginia, against the Indiana lad. Jeff, the younger of the Burton brothers, pulls the 99 to a halt. Allen?
Burton is in. The crew goes to work. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. They're going to adjust the bar up 3 rounds. You see the adjustment being made now. Around they come to the left side. They debated changing the tape on the front of the grill, decided against it. And here's Burton stop a little slow on the rear, slow into the front. He's down and away. 19.7 seconds.
And right with him comes Bobby Labonte. Both on pit road at the identical time.
There is one thing I'm curious about. As we watch Mark Martin go in, I'm sure we'll see his pit stop.
He's been riding in 4th over the past 50, 60 miles. Gets a drink. Curb service. 4 tires. Full tank of gas.
Martin's adjustments on this stop were to take a ½ pound of air pressure out of the right side tires. Mark said he was driving his butt off, to quote him, but just couldn't get up there to catch those front 3. Great stop for the team, just over 16 seconds.
16.4 for Mark Martin, and he's back out there again.
The one thing I was talking about, I wanted to see how they re-entered to the racetrack, because Tony Stewart does not have a great deal of time going out of the pits on the flat part of the racetrack. But he did very, very well as he regained where he was at. You see, Jeff Burton did come out just a little bit quicker.
468 miles complete, buddy. Take a look at the 99 coming onto pit road here. 468. They can't get home.
Whoa, baby. Whoa, right in the grass there. Really had to tie it down to get slow enough so he wasn't speeding down pit road, because NASCAR will get you for that.
Needed to put a halter on that one.
And they watch those lead cars as well to make sure they don't get in too hot. Burton almost lost it there.
Terry Labonte's number 5 easing down to the bottom. Here comes Tony Stewart. This is going to be for position.
Bobby Labonte looks awfully strong there in the green car, number 3 right now. As they go in there, Terry Labonte's giving them racing room on the bottom in the 5 car.
Burton is your leader in the 99. Stewart is 2nd. Labonte in the 18 is in 3rd position. Having just taken a pit stop, now they're working with a little bit lower air pressures than they ordinarily would be. Cars not as stable as they will be in a few laps when air pressure builds up.
Well, these 3 have been dancing together, choreographed as if they worked it out that way for over 100 miles. Here comes Stewart back on the inside. Wow.
And his teammate right with him on the bottom there, Bobby Labonte on the bottom. Jeff Burton fighting back hard as they head off turn 2.
He just swung that thing in there. What a pitch by Burton in the 99 on the outside. That's as close to going over the edge of the cliff as you can go, and it's still on between these three. They're back around. Stewart back to third. This for the lead, and you'd think this was the last lap.
Well, what they're doing right now is establishing themselves, and as far as I'm concerned, Bobby Labonte looks quicker to me as he makes a move coming off turn 2.
For first place, Bobby Labonte. Set the pole, new track right here comes Stewart with him. Wow. And they've got that number 90 up on the outside as a pick. Hot Strickland.
You know Strickland would like to be someplace else than right in the middle of this thing with the leaders. He doesn't want to mess this up. Fans loving this. When Stewart came into the helicopter, this place absolutely went berserk. Every fan in this grandstand was on their feet cheering for Tony Stewart. The helicopter made half a lap around the Speedway, and the crowd just loved it.
Parked right down here in the infield, and the whole place erupted when he came out wearing his racing uniform. They knew what he was here for, and boy, is he giving them a show.
And Rusty Wallace, he donated his jet helicopter to bring him over here. These guys really get along quite well, everywhere but right there on the racetrack.
You know what's neat about this? The guy that's in the lead started in the pole. The guy who's in second spot started absolutely dead last in the field.
Hold the phone, folks. Black is back. Up to fourth spot moves Dale Earnhardt. Yep, Earnhardt is there with Mark Martin now back in fifth. Then 6 is Jarrett, 7th is Schrader, all in the lead lap. And Dale Earnhardt, is he closing in? Is he getting ready to show us something for the end of this 600? He sure can do it. He's done it so many times before. This summer, the missing link in television's coming. A wild new series about a network composed of monkeys. The Chimp Channel debuts Thursday, June 10th, only on TBS Superstation. Super race here on the Superstation tonight.
These guys look like
Bobby
relatives.
All right. Bobby Labonte has just lapped John Andretti. Andretti in 9th position. That leaves 8 cars in that lead lap as Bobby Labonte toes the mark. Trying to take it home. Do what he did in 1995. That's when he won his first 600. Just a moment ago, they made it very exciting up here on turn 4.
Bobby Labonte there in the green car. Watch him switch right in the middle here, making it 3 wide down the front straightaway. Ow! That was some smart driving there by Kevin LePage in the 16. He realized what was going on and held his car straight instead of turning down.
Now that's at about 175 miles an hour, folks. You see it here in slow motion. Just joining us on TBS for the finale of this 600. It has been outstanding. 5 cautions today, but the speeds will have been running stay right up at an average speed of around 172 miles an hour. There you see the points. As of now, Dale Jarrett back in command. Jeff Burton in second in the point battle for the Winston Cup honors at the end of the year, worth millions of dollars. Look at this. Bobby Labonte back in front as we get close to the 500-mile mark. We'll be back to follow more of the story into that last desperate 100 miles of competition in the 600 after this.
The Coca Cola 600 on TBS is brought to you by Sprint, providing long-distance, wireless, internet, and data services. No one keeps you better connected to your world than Sprint. And by the refreshing taste of Coca Cola Classic.
Carolina moon shining down on over 200,000 race fans at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, watching Bobby Labonte of Corpus Christi, Texas, trying to win this race. We're getting toward the last 100 miles. Lap 334. We're working 333 this time by. There you see Earnhardt in the number 3. And he right now is positioned in fourth, and that's Mark Martin right there with him trying to take it away. You talk about racing. It's all over this mile-and-a-half High Bank Speedway. Mark Martin dips down to the bottom, and he's on his way. He picks one up.
This top five has been a war all night long. It seems as if no one can get a position and hold it for too terribly long before all of a sudden they got one of these guys right on their back bumper looking to take that spot away.
Stays green. There'll be one more pit stop, Dick. That could change it all again, right?
Yep. Yeah, oh, it definitely will. And then what do you do under that pit stop? Take 4 tires, 2 tires? How do you play that game?
Coming down to 100 miles to go in this event. Following this battle further back, as we get to that 100-mile mark. There's the 500-mile mark as we follow these cars further back. After 500 miles in the books at most races, it's time for the drivers to call it a day. But not this day, not in the Coca Cola 600. How do drivers view those final tough 100 miles? Are they worn out?
When you get that 100 miles to go, or 67 laps to go, you're really excited about that time of the race because you know you just got 100. This just needs 100 miles. You know, it's easy.
You're really trying to set yourself up to be in position in those last 100 miles, basically. And, you know, you try to think of it that way, just like you would a 400 or 500 mile race. Let's think about the last 75, 100 miles. But it's how you get to that. That's what makes it so tough in the 600 because it's such a long event.
What you end up doing is you look at that 500 miles and you think, well, I wish it was a 500-mile race, or you're glad it's a 600-mile race. Because at that point in the race, you feel like either you've gotten all you can get and you wish the race was over right then, or you think there's more you can go get.
That guy right there is very glad of the next 100 miles. That's Jeff Burton's number 99. He's running in second position. He's got some making up to do right now. Tony Stewart is back there in third. He's glad for another 100 miles. But for Bobby Labonte in the number 18 Pontiac Joe Gibbs up in front, he'd just as soon have it over right now.
Sure would. And there have been so many things that have happened in this last 100 miles of the race. 1995, Kenny Schrader was leading at the 500-mile mark. He was leading at mile 536. At 537, he was in the garage with a blown engine.
That's when Rusty Wallace, correct, got it done? Let's see. What year was that?
95.
95. That's when Bobby Labonte got it done.
Right.
Yep.
You know, I'm just wondering about Tony Stewart's car. It was so good on that last set of tires. He does not seem to be running quite as well as he was just before the pit stop.
And there will be one more pit stop if it stays green to the end of this race. That's for sure.
At least one more. We've got a couple of caution flags in here. Strategy will play out as to what you need to do.
And Tony Stewart, Red pulling up on him there in the number 10. We would have hoped for a lot more for that Ricky Rudd car tonight. This has not been a good run for him back in 32nd position. Far better driver than that. For Tony Stewart right now, it's 1,000 miles of racing. Remember, he didn't get all the laps finished at Indy. Had 3 laps down on the record book there for 9th place. But he's run 1,000 miles of racing today. Very busy schedule for this young man from Indiana. Loves Winston Cup racing. Whoa! Nato in the 9. Gets way to the outside that time. He's still running up in 22nd. There's your leader. He's around Gordon. You just joined us. Not a good night for Jeff Gordon. He's back in 40th spot. It's all Bobby Labonte's to win or lose right now in the 600. Back here for more of the Coca Cola 600, Charlotte, North Carolina. Lowe's Motor Speedway, the mile and a half has Bobby Labonte leading. Hey, in the NBA tonight. Wow, look at this. The 8-seed Knicks beat the Pacers 93-90. You believe it. Catch the NBA playoff on TNT Tuesday night. Game 2 of that Eastern Conference as the upstart 8-seeded Knicks take on the Indiana Pacers. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Talk about upsets. That's what Tony Stewart's trying to do here tonight. Bobby Labonte, the 95 champion of the 600, is out in front. Jeff Burton 7-time winner. Rides right there in second. A rookie in his 12th Winston Cup appearance, Tony Stewart, who's already run at Indianapolis today and finished 9th. He lies third after starting 43rd on the grid tonight. Mark Martin's in 4th. Jarrett's in 5th. Earnhardt has fallen 1 spot back to 6th. Buddy May.
Earnhardt just said just a second ago on the scanner, I was listening, he said this set of tires did not match up to suit him. He's struggling right at the moment.
Hey, take another backstage look here. Here's Alice Cook.
I'm with Rhonda Traylor. She has a chance to win $1 million tonight if Bobby Labonte can pull this one out. What are your emotions as the lead continues to climb?
Well, they haven't dropped in a while.
Are you pretty excited? Do you think he's going to do it?
Yeah, he is going to do it.
Have you thought about how to spend $1 million?
No, that's kind of irrelevant. No, not at all.
Oh, come on. Have you thought about a European vacation?
We got girls to take care of that for us.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Not only are 5 candidates on the track up for $1 million, but 5 fans by drawing get an opportunity as well. This is Bobby Labonte's 5th try for the No Bull $1 million. He hasn't won it in his 4 previous tries. Of course, Jeff Gordon is treating it almost like his own personal bank. There you see. Gordon's running pretty well right now. He's way down, many laps off, running in 40th position after he was in the pits for a considerable amount of time, but now he's hitched up and moving along. There's so many cars still running, he's going to take a big hit in the points.
He's 40 laps down right now, and it has really been a tough year for Jeff Gordon. He's certainly had a good year, started out with a good year at any rate, winning at the Daytona 500, but he's not used to having DNFs. He's had 3 of those already, and a tough run at Richmond, a tough run here this evening in terms of final finishing position.
Hey, incidentally, 4 of those 5 No Bull guys, buddy, are up here in the top 10. Right there in front, there's Labonte and Burton. They're both candidates to take $1 million out of this thing in additional money besides what's been posted first.
Yeah, we were just talking a while ago. If Bobby Labonte was leading this thing with 10 laps to go, would Joe Gibbs say to Tony Stewart, don't pass him, he's going for $1 million? I bet you the coach would say, go after him.
You bet he would. Okay, so Bobby Labonte's race to win is still right here in turn number 1. Got a pretty good advantage, 2 2/10 of a second over Jeff Burton. Had extremely good action between laps, the miles of 400 and 500. Let's see what happens in this final 100.
He was really good with his hands. Could have been a surgeon if he wanted to. He could.
Race fans, the 99 Simpson Racing catalog is now available. For information, call 1-800-71-RACIN or visit the Simpson website at simpsonraceproducts.com. Radio communications are provided by Racing Radios. For all your radio communications needs and scanners, call on Racing Radios at 1-800-669-1522. You can be a Winston Cup team owner and compete for over $200,000 in cash and prizes by playing Ned Jarrett's Fantasy Cup Auto Racing. Call 1-800-877-RACE for your rule book and buy Close-Up. See displays for packages of Close-Up toothpaste featuring Jeff Gordon and find out how you can receive a free Close-Up in-car audio card. Offer expires September 30th, 1999. Void where prohibited.
Bobby Labonte's been digging all night. Started on the pole, lap 16. Jeff Burton got him. And a little later on, he was right back around him to take the lead. Lap 249, he got it back. Went around Jeff Burton. And look at this, late in the going, right up the middle. LePage on the outside, Andretti on the inside. Andretti was in that lead lap going a lap down when that incident took place. Bobby Labonte going for his 8th Winston Cup victory. 3 of his last 4 600s here at Charlotte have been 6 or better at the finish line. What a way to cap this 600 tonight if he can pull it off and win that No Bull 5 and an extra $1 million. Stay back here, Burton, and here comes Stewart in third. Tony Stewart, who's gone all the way from last, all the way up through. See Joe Gibbs right there. Saw him win the Super Bowl to Washington. He loves this racing as much as he did football. And Bobby Labonte has said Joe Gibbs has changed my attitude toward things, my feelings toward people. When you're around the guy, he rubs off on you. It's all good. Joe Gibbs is so considerate, yet so very competitive. You can be both.
And as you can see, Bobby Labonte is still the fastest car on the Speedway right now.
And right now, they surely are wondering about the mechanical condition of that car. They've all gone so far into this race. This morning, I talked with the engine tuner on that car, Steve Allen. I said, is the motor going to be all right? Can you guys run all 600 miles? And he winked and he said, hey, Bertrand, we killed a sacrificial chicken on a rocker arm this morning. We're going to make it.
But you know what Dale Earnhardt Jr. is doing right now? He's in 16th spot. And he said before the race started, if I can just have a top 20, I feel like I've done something special. So, indeed, he is.
Jarrett has moved around. Mark Martin, and he's taken over fourth. There's Jarrett, high side, number 88, clearing Mark Martin. And we can get more on the story of Dale Jarrett moving through traffic. Alan Bestwick has that.
Ken, I think Dale Jarrett certainly deserves a nod along with Tony Stewart for the drive of the night. DJ started back in 28th position, went a lap down early, got his lap back with the help of a caution flag. At one point, radioed to Todd Parron and the crew, I have absolutely no idea what to do with this race car. It's awful. Todd told him, calm down. They talked to Dale's father, Ned, who's also on the radio with him. He helped him try and find a better driving line around the racetrack for the way the car was handling. And now, lo and behold, after a couple of chassis adjustments, here is the point leader back up in the fourth position. A great performance for Dale and his team tonight.
Moral, always listen to your father.
Yeah, if your father's Ned Jarrett.
Absolutely.
And you happen to be in a race car.
1960 winner of the 600. Dale Jarrett looking strong. He's into fourth spot. Bobby Labonte stays up in front. Yep, he is now leading by 2 3/10 of a second. He had it at 2.9 for a while. It's gone away. Looks like Burton may be coming back, coming after him in the final laps of the 600.
From TBS.
367 of 400 laps complete. We're down to it. Less than 50 miles left, 49 and a half in this Coca Cola 600. The 40th running. Bobby Labonte trying to win it for a second time. Stays in first place. Let's do an STP pit roundup for just a moment and get the latest information from down there on the top runners tonight. Steve Burns.
Well, Ken, on the last pit stop, Bobby Labonte didn't make any adjustments for that Pontiac. I just asked Jimmy Makar when they'd stopped their last gas stop. He said with 20 to go. And I said, all right, now what about tires? He literally started laughing and said, that's a real good question. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Tony Stewart's going to have to get tires. They made no adjustment, and Tony's having problem with getting grip on the track. He says the car has too little bite on the racetrack, so they'll take 4 tires, and they are going to have to make an air pressure adjustment to give Tony a chance to win this race.
Jeff Burton's team is having a discussion back and forth right now between Burton behind the wheel and crew chief Frank Stoddard about whether or not to take tires on their final stop. Dale Jarrett is getting right sides. In fact, 4 tires on pit road now, and that's got everybody up and down pit road, including Burton's team, debating what they'll do on the final stop with about 20 laps to go.
Quality Care Ford rolls back out again. This is at lap 370, 30 laps to go, a little early for Jarrett, but he strapped on 4. That sounds like a Ned Jarrett calculation to me.
And that may well set the tone for the rest of them. If Jarrett's got 4 fresh tires, the rest of them are going to have a hard time if they don't take 4.
Number 11, Brett Bodine, pulls on the pit road to make his stop. He's been running back there just around 20th, 21st. Here's Bobby Labonte in front. Remember when he won it in 95?
Earnhardt's in.
Earnhardt is in.
Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Running 5th. Senior. When he won this race in 95, and Schrader blew in the last moments. The second place car 7 seconds back. This is his brother, Terry. Here's Earnhardt all the way around.
4 tires. We were thinking maybe somebody would try to take on 2 tires and get right back out on the racetrack, but everybody's been in so far took on 4.
Earnhardt is away. Here's Jeremy Mayfield coming on as well. Mayfield is running in 8th spot. We'll get another break in here now, then we can stay with you on into the end of the race. Here's Earnhardt Jr. And he's showing 14th as he pulls on pit road. Having a great night in this Budweiser car. The debut performance for 24-year-old Dale Earnhardt Jr. And it's been a beauty for 600 miles. More of the leaders coming on pit road. The kid straps on new tires.
Stewart is on pit road.
He is 3rd as he comes off the track onto the pit road. Tony Stewart is there. Mike is there.
Tony Stewart slides to a stop in his pit stall. His crew will give him 4 fresh tires. And we said a moment ago, they have made an air pressure adjustment. They think they made the adjustment. It's going to give Tony the power to take it to the front. They decide to come in now. They're putting in just enough fuel to get him to the finish. Left sides are bolted on. 18.8 seconds. A good stop for Tony Stewart.
Here comes Jeff Burton down the pit road. 2 or 4 tires. The call has just gone out. 4 tires it'll be for the Burton machine. Here he comes. Stewart pit stall now at pit road speed, trying to make sure he doesn't go over the limit. They stick the jacking wrench into the track bar, and they're going back up on the adjustment they made a little while ago, taking that back out of the car. The 4 tires stop ongoing. Here come the left sides off, working both of them very speedy on the change. Down and away goes Burton, 17.3 seconds.
That could be the difference right there.
And that was close. John Andretti cut right in front of Burton just as Burton was coming out of his pit stall.
Mark Martin's on pit road now, headed for his pit.
Bobby Labonte still out. He is yet to pit, still in 1st. Mark Martin now on pit road. Ricky Rudd trails along behind him.
Bobby Labonte.
And now here's your leader. Critical moment. It's a one-man show over the last 45 minutes. Now it's a team game. This is the timeout. It should be less than 18 seconds after what we just saw performed by the 99.
And Ken, the team is Jeff Chandler, Barry Cook, the tire changers, Todd Meredith, Scott Hewitt, the tire carriers, the gas man, Peter Schellen, and the jack man is Jason Lee. Their jobs may win or lose the race. Bobby Labonte, tires on the left side, 17.3 seconds for Bobby Labonte.
Great stop. Very good.
Beautiful work. Yep. A lot of teamwork, a lot of practice, and it could pay off an extra $1 million tonight for Bobby Labonte. The young Texan roars back onto the track. So we've gone through that entire shift of pit stops among those leaders.
Wow, I saw a smoker in the corner there. The 36 car of Ernie Irvin was smoking really hard going down in turn 1. I hope it don't bring out a caution because this will upset. You can see he's lost the motor there.
21st position, Irvin. After these stops, we have the leaders all back together. You have the number 99. Jeff Burton in front. Bobby Labonte is in 2nd. Tony Stewart 3rd. Martin 4th. Jared 5th. Schrader's in there too. For over $1 million. It's a battle at the summit. You've got Jeff Burton in the 99 and Bobby Labonte in the 18. Ford against Pontiac, and they've been swapping this thing back and forth the last 2 or 3 laps. Not wanting to give an inch, either driver. Tony Stewart sits just behind them in 3rd. Side by side, inside, outside passes by this pair. It's got 157,000 people who filled every seat, standing and cheering every lap, galvanized by this exciting action. And Joe Gibbs, he's beginning to walk around a little. This one's tied 24-24 with a couple of minutes to go here.
Yeah, you said nobody's nervous. You can see him pacing right now. He looked the same way when he's on the sidelines to the end.
Getting down to it, you can't kick a field goal here. We've got Burton and Labonte, and for the moment, Burton is drawing away in the 99.
He doesn't even want to watch. One of Burton's crew members
385 laps complete, 15 to go.
Boy, oh boy, I mean, whatever they did to that car on Jeff Burton's last stop, he is absolutely flying.
They made that adjustment the other way. They took it back to where it had been 100 miles earlier. Out in the 18 pit looking on. Well, for the moment, Bobby Labonte is covered, and it's about 7/10 of a second, maybe a little more, between first and second spot. As Jeff Burton eases a little closer. Here's the number 6 down to the inside, and Mark Martin. Greg Zipadelli watching as the 20 backs up a spot.
Bit of a surprise, Mark Martin took just 2 tires on that last pit stop. Everybody else among the leaders took 4. But he has still managed with just 2 fresh tires to pass Tony Stewart.
Earnhardt Jr., 17th. You saw him there. Stewart 4th. Jarrett 5th. Earnhardt 6th. Schrader 7th. And Ward Burton, number 22, for Bill Davis in the 8th spot. Martin, final moments. 388 this time by. Complete of 400. Bobby Labonte was right there at the finish. Buddy?
You see the sparks fly, the fire flying out of the exhaust. Do not worry about that. There's nothing wrong with the car. That's unspent fuel, and it's just burning back through that exhaust. It is about 900 degrees right out on the end there.
Tim Burton looking on.
Is that a tear streaking down her cheek?
99 in front. She watches every lap.
Every lap since he was about 10 years old. When he used to race go-karts, they were high school sweethearts. And now every lap this guy goes around this racetrack, it's like she's in the car with him.
And there's the 2 brothers.
Coming up to 10 laps to go. A lot of players here.
You think they feel the tension? Oh, boy.
Well, there's $1 million at stake here.
And probably a pretty decent bonus, wouldn't you think, for the crewmen? But winning this race is what those guys work their hearts out for all the time.
I think the crew members would pay extra just to win in any given Sunday.
Here he is, Jeff Burton, the Excite Batteries Ford. There's Joe Gibbs looking out in that second spot.
Shaking his head. He knows he needs more from that race car. Time is running out.
Yep. Coming up on 4th down and 1. For that number 18. Got some distance to make up, and it's going the other way. Almost a second now, that 99. The separation back to the 18. Jeff Burton raced his way to 4th place in the Car Quest 300, the Grand National event yesterday. Very high line up there in 4th, and that's going to bring that interval a little tighter together.
Bobby Labonte's last lap was almost a full mile an hour faster than our leader, Burton, so he's letting it all hang out right now.
Joe Gibbs has 2 in the top 5. Bobby Labonte in 2nd and Stewart in 4th.
Now, you talk about us being nervous or Gibbs or anybody else. This guy, look here. This guy could win the million.
Yeah. Wade Smith is his name. He's from Illinois, and you know who he is cheering for.
Jack Roush.
Says, please win.
Jack Roush is 2 in the top 5. Burton in 1st, Martin in 3rd. Will it be win number 8 for Jeff Burton?
Looks like Bobby Labonte's moving in just a little bit on Jeff Burton every lap.
He's picked up 3/10.
Look at this. Look at this.
6 laps to go this time by, and here comes Bobby Labonte back into this thing.
And lap traffic just in front of him up there. This has a lot to do with how quick you get around the speedway.
Bobby Labonte's tires coming in now. 0.6 of a second separating 1st and 2nd.
Can it happen to Bobby Labonte again? There you see it. That interval between first and second now down to 0.6 of a second. A year ago, Bobby Labonte and Wallace, first and second, right down to the end. They swapped the lead side by side. Then Gordon passed them both for that victory. And he had to look up from underneath.
She knows he's getting closer. Look at her face.
Tim Burton.
Kim Burton.
Her husband.
Very nervous.
And that number 99 stays in front, but that lead has vanished. It's now, was 0.3 of a second. It's less than that. It's about 3 to 4 car lengths. Call it 4.
Car lengths is right. You can see Bobby Labonte is absolutely flying. The crowd's going up on their feet now. You can see them.
She's a Bobby Labonte fan. Well, she could be a Burton.
No, she's got the
hat.
Yeah, she's got the hat. She's got the drink cooler and all that stuff.
The whole rig.
Down all
radio.
Jerry Nadeau on the outside moves over, gives them room to race.
When it all began today, the beginning of the 600 miles, they lined up with Bobby Labonte on the pole. And right beside him was number 99, Jeff Burton. That's how they began. Now the coach is watching the two.
See the crew member mouth the word, come on.
Can't send in any other players. It's all up to these two right now.
The one thing you don't want to do is overdrive and maybe get the car out of shape and get the tires too hot. But Bobby Labonte knows it's now or never. He has to move in there.
This is when it's at its best. Ooh, and Reddy sparking there as we go down into turn 1. Kim Burton looking on. Hasn't changed since she was 10. And there was Parks. Another kid's 10 years old. Now the big boys are playing out here. Just waiting this one out. Bobby Labonte has pulled up in the points, moved from 5th to 3rd since Las Vegas. He's been coming on. Will he come on at the end of this 600? Final laps. Oh, my.
There you go, Myra.
Bobby Labonte loses this one. It's going to be the 5th time he's lost out on $1 million bonus.
Down they come. White flag is extended. Final lap is underway. Jeff Burton has the advantage. Bobby Labonte in second. Now it's 5. Now it's 6 car lengths. Now it's 7. As Burton tries to draw away. Trying to win his first win at Charlotte. His 11th race here. The 99 staying in front. Another set of turns. Here comes everything thrown into it by Bobby Labonte. But the checkers are ready to fly. They're going to belong to Jeff Burton of South Boston, Virginia.
Yeah!
And Wade Smith has won $1 million. And he may need a respirator.
He says it's the big one. Oh!
And it is a bigger one here for the Roush Racing team. And Jeff Burton, the 22nd driver to win the Coca Cola 600 in 40 races. And a congratulations. How about that for sportsmanship at the end of the event from Bobby Labonte?
They rubbed a little metal back there.
Kim Burton looking on. Ecstasy down there. What a night. Alice Cook got a hug.
Yes, he did.
Yes, indeed. The third win of 99 for car number 99. Las Vegas and Darlington went his way, and tonight for Jack Roush in the Chapeau, it's victory in the 600. Alice Cook.
He knew he had it the whole way, right, Wade?
Oh, you don't know how much. We were talking about it at the press conference the other night, and I just told Jeff, I said, run your heart out. And the man did. Oh, this has been one of the excitingest damn races I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of them.
It doesn't get any better than this, does it?
No, it don't. To be here in Charlotte, winning the $1 million, having the support of everybody, it's just phenomenal. Oh, man.
Congratulations.
That's the man that needs the credit right there. Jeff Burton, the 99 Exide car.
Good going.
You'd have thought he was in there with him, though. Last 10 laps. A lap of honor to car number 99, Roush Racing. Jeff Burton has done it. Led 199 to the 400 laps in the 600. They are celebrating the champion in victory lane. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Ken, it's a milestone down here. Jeff Burton has a million reasons to celebrate. Jeff, come on down here. Tell us. Gosh, Jeff, tell us how you won this race.
Pit crew won that race. The 18 car was a little faster than we were at the end, but we got out in front of them. We just had a great pit stop. The pit stop got us in front, and that's what won us the race.
How about the driver? He did a pretty good job, too.
Well, I tell you, the 18 was better than we were at the end, and I don't know what happened to 20, but the 20 was real tough, too. And pit crew did it, and pit crew got us out front, and that's what won it.
Well, Jack Roush, Frankie Stoddard here. Jeff, did you ever think growing up in South Boston, Virginia, you would one day race for $1 million in one night?
I didn't even know what $1 million was. This is a great night for us. Real proud of the Excite guys. You know, this $1 million puts a lot of pressure on you, but we kept her cool. Everybody stuck to their game plan. And at least, if nothing else, we got a college education paid for tonight.
All right. Congratulations, guys. Great victory.
Hey, sweetie.
Jeffrey.
Let's get down quickly with Alice Cook, pit road. Alice? Alan Bestwick. Let's go to Alan.
All right, Ken, you're watching the crowd around Tony Stewart. Tony is being put on a stretcher. He got out of the car, sat down next to it. He's extremely exhausted and dehydrated. They're going to take him over to the care center to put some fluids into him and check him over and make sure that everything's okay. But a valiant day for Tony Stewart, obviously. The drive at Indianapolis today, the trip over here to Charlotte, and then the run from the back of the pack up into the top 5 for the race. Obviously, it has taken quite a bit out of him, and he is going to be taken over to be checked out at the medical center.
His best finish in his 12th Winston Cup race. He finishes 4th here in the 600. What a valiant effort. 500 miles for Indianapolis, 9th place there, and 4th place tonight. Mark him as a star of the future for sure, Tony Stewart. And back with more of the celebration of the 40th annual Coca Cola 600 in a moment.